Are the Giants and Odell Beckham nearing a reunion? Boy Green loves it. I know I don't. And the Celtics are done. We'll break it down, talk all about it. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital live on a Monday starts right now.
Let's go! It's time for the talk to you. 'Cause spectacle is born, it's all we're gonna do. And Boy Green is always on the scene. And we're gonna always bring to the live streaming. So get ready, Get ready, 'cause here they come.
All right, I'm ready on a Monday. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at NC
I'm not.
Show Digital. You're not? No. Well, that Celtic thing, huh? How come you aren't wearing your Celtics green for today's show?
I should.
Yeah,
I haven't worn it. Well, actually, I made a bet. I made a bet with one of your Knicks folks, actually,
Oh,
a
did you?
year ago. So we're in the middle of the. I'm in the middle of the Knicks Celtics series, and I'm an arrogant son of a gun on my own team. So I said,
Yes, you are.
come on. So it was probably a combo bet. Now that I think about it, that Chef Kev, who was at our tailgate last year, which was awesome, he'll be at our tailgate again this year. And then there was
he
this.
won as Maniac Madness. What?
Congratulations to Chef.
That's a
There you go.
7 seed. Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge upset. Yeah, he topped a number 1 seed. So, by the way, real quick, for Chef. The best in the business. And no, I had another fan. His name is Scotty Mayhem. I haven't seen him on the channel in a long time. So he made his bet and apparently got out. So good for him. But I honored it. So just because he disappeared from my channel, I honored the bet. But basically he said so some Jet fans are getting annoyed that I would wear Boston gear on Celtics game days on a Jet show. They're like, ugh.
It's true.
disgusting.
Because just the city of New York and the city of Boston, in terms of their fandom, it's
Yeah.
very, very polarizing for sure.
So there's very few. Shout out to Jet71. He's another Celtic fan, but Jet fan. So there's very few of us out there in the universe.
Got the green and white in common.
That's it. And again, a lot of people think that was on purpose. It's some weird coincidence with things going on. So he made a bet. He said, if the Knicks win this series, you can't wear Celtics gear for a year on any basically Boy Green daily that you do. And I'm like, all right. Well, I thought they were going to win. And then he said, if the Knicks win the whole championship at the tailgate, you're wearing this Knicks jersey. And he showed it to me. I'm like, okay, I guess. And obviously the Knicks did not win the championship. However, they did upend the Celtics. So I am on a year ban. I think my year ban actually comes free at some point later this month in May, but no longer necessary, of course, because
won't need to.
They're eliminated.
Another stay of execution here on the
Exactly.
Celtics jersey.
So that's why. So why did I not wear it? Well, technically, I am restricted from wearing it for several more weeks. So I have not worn it on any program I've done over the last calendar year. Which, as I was doing some data stuff behind the scenes, we just celebrated on Sunday was the 1,000th episode of Boy Green Daily that I've done, and that's crazy. And so I was looking through numbers and things of that nature. And that's think about how many shows that is of not wearing Celtics gear. So it's a lot. I normally wear Jets gear most of the time anyway. So the Celtics stuff, I normally only pull out during the NBA playoffs because I know the audience doesn't care. If I was of my own, maybe it would come on more often, but I know the fans hate it. So I'm a man of the people.
Somebody asked me right now, I'm going to do a little quick math. Somebody asked me one day, and I don't think I ever did the math. I said, oh yeah, I'll do that. And then I never did. How many radio shows did I do, over all the years? So I'm going to ballpark it.
Okay.
it.
All right.
All right. So we got 23 years times 56 weeks in a year, right?
Yeah.
Right. Do we want to let me just think through this math?
Isn't it 52 weeks in a year?
Yeah, 52 weeks in a year. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
yes, it is 52 weeks. It's 56 cards in a deck, 52 years, right? 56 cards in a deck. Do I have that right? Am I mixing up cards in a deck and
it's 13, 26. Yes. No.
God, you've got me thinking.
Wait
now.
a second.
Wait a minute. No, it's 52 cards in a deck, 56 weeks in a year. I had that right. Man, you got
there's
me.
52. Wait.
How many? No, it's 26.
There's 52 weeks in a year.
52 weeks in a year. You're right. 26.
And there's also 52 cards in a deck. Where's
Both
this 56 number coming from?
Oh,
Lawrence Taylor?
Maybe.
I was going to say, what?
All right. So 23 years, 56 weeks in a year, so that would make
52,
sense to multiply
52,
those 2,
52, not
all right?
56,
And
52,
then
Lurch.
oh, I did 56 again, didn't I? I'm
Come
sorry.
on, Lurch. It's
23
52, man.
times 52, sorry. All
Okay.
right. And then also then let's just say 5 shows a week, right?
Yeah.
So 5 wait a minute, am I that's okay,
What
forget it. I'll
math
do
are
this.
you doing,
Yeah,
man?
I'm doing math that doesn't make any sense. Forget it, I've given up, forget it. I'll figure it out later during the break. This is to think that I was once an accountant is really scary. I'm glad I'm
That's
away from that business
concerning.
these days.
So, okay,
Consider me a very good accountant
let's
back in
just
the
make
day.
it simple this, Lurch. So you have 5 shows a week. There's
Yes.
4 weeks in a month. So 5 times 4 is 20. So you have 20 times 12. What's that?
All right, 20 times 12. I
Yeah.
like that you're doing the math here. That's
Okay.
240.
Okay. 200 what?
40.
Okay. So 240, that's per year. So now times how many years you did it, which was 23 years, you said? And that'll give you your number.
All right, let's see if that's
240 times 23.
5,520.
There you go. That's apparently, I don't know how many shows you missed, or did
Yeah,
you do
right.
extra shows like you did charity shows and stuff? So I don't know. So give or
Probably
take
all a
whatever.
wash, probably all a wash.
Well, that's probably true. So okay.
About
And how many?
5,500 shows if we've done the
That's a
math
lot of
correctly.
shows, man.
Let me see if I did
It's
my
23
crazy
years.
math. I would have done 23 years times 52 weeks equals times 5. Yeah, I think I would have come up with a similar number, 5980. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the ballpark. Okay.
Okay. There you go.
Reasonable.
That's a lot of
All right.
shows, man.
Yeah.
How
Let me
does it
see,
feel to have
5,500
done that
to
many
6,000.
shows?
Oh God, how does it
Because to
feel?
me, when I heard 1,000, and I only knew it because one fan said, "Hey, Paul, you're coming up on 1,000." I'm like, "What are you talking about? How would you know?" I'm not. With all due respect to our podcast people in the universe, I don't like doing Boy Green Daily, Jet
Yeah,
Stretch
episode, right? Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
44. Who cares?
who cares? Right. What does that
Care
matter?
how many it is. However, I have playlists on my YouTube channel because I do this show, I do Boy
Yeah,
Green
so
Daily.
it tallies up that stuff. Right.
So it tallies it up. And this fan came across my playlist that said, "Ooh, 993 for Boy Green
You're
Daily."
almost at 1,000. Yeah.
Oh, I said, "Oh, I had no idea because I don't look. That's not something I look at. I just check off a box because, like, this show is Manchild Show, this show is Boy Green, so I don't check it off." And then yesterday, because it came across again, I said, "Oh wow, today's 1,000, everybody! Cheers, pop the bubbly, and all that." So, but I heard 1,000, I'm like, damn. 1,000 times I got up in the morning to go do the show. So to hear yours, which obviously is a much larger number, you've been doing it for 23 years, like 5,000 something shows. Good night.
It's a lot of shows.
It's great. Congrats. Yeah.
A lot of them with Bud too. A lot of them with Bud. Oh, that cranky old
Most
man.
of them with Bud, I would imagine. Yeah. That's unbelievable.
He was getting cranky at the end. Oh boy, he was getting cranky. He's still kind of cranky.
Nah, that's true.
It's funny, he's cranky on the air with us.
Sure.
But then, outside the show, you go boating with the guy or go down to his place. He has a beautiful place down near
He
the
does,
lake.
Skinny Atlas. Yeah, beautiful.
And, he couldn't be a better, less cranky host. So I don't know. I don't know what
Oh
happens.
yeah, I will tell you, he's brought me over to his house several times, and every time I say, because I don't just drop in on him, I say, "Hey, I'm coming," and then he's like, "Okay," and he puts out deli meats.
He rolls out the red carpet. Yeah, he does.
He goes out to the store, like he's like, "Wow, Paul is coming here. Here are select meats, some cheese."
Right, he'll call you up and say, "What drink do you like?"
He does. 100%.
Do you like
I can
roast
confirm.
beef? How about Swiss cheese? You have a
And I love
type?
roast
I mean, he'll really.
And I tell him, I'm cleaning him out.
No, fix a couple of sandwiches for me for crying out loud. You don't got to.
Oh,
call
good
me.
for you. But I take full advantage.
Oh,
when
you
he
do?
Says, when he says he comes over, I'm like, "Hey, whatever roast beef you put on this table, I'm walking away with all of it. I'm having 30 sandwiches. So just keep that in mind as we're doing this process." 100%. And I think he really appreciates that. Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good landmark. 1,000 shows. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow.
But I'm like you. I never added them up. I
5,500.
had no idea. I've done,
You're right.
nearly 6,000 shows. How would I know? You
Yeah.
know. Then throw in all the TV stuff I did. I mean,
Oh my God. How often did you? So what was it? How many shows
mine,
did
that would
TV?
be almost impossible for me to add up because
Friday Night Lights, like segments and stuff too, right?
yeah. Plus, I wasn't like in the regular rotation most of the time I was in TV because I was the executive producer of the sports department. So I, was kind of the primary producer, and I was a fill-in anchor, and then I did a lot of reporting. So, but then my boss, he was there for 20 plus years, maybe 30. And he had a lot of time off. So anytime he was out, I subbed for him. So I did a lot of anchoring when he was out. And then I started doing the Friday night thing every week for the football and the basketball seasons. So yeah,
Right, so I'm not sure how you count that sort of stuff. So that I'm not
not
sure.
like radio, not as many as radio for sure.
Right.
And I did TV for, I guess, I think it was between 5 and 6 years of television before.
But that's still part of your ethos, though. It's part of the
Definitely, yeah.
profile, Yeah.
That's kind of how I was birthed, in all honesty. I mean, it was my first. I mean, I did a little bit, one professional, I shouldn't say professional-ish. I got paid for it, so it's a professional. I did one professional radio job before I got the TV job. And it was actually a hockey job. And then I jumped into TV. But I kind of look at the TV job as my first real job,
Yeah.
So it was a real job. It was, full-time job, and, it
Cool.
was a real job. So in that world. And then before that, as we were talking about all this adding, I was an accountant for 7 years. So, a weird kind of accountant. I worked for a defense company in a sealed off plant. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So it's
Okay,
kind of like,
I didn't know that depth. I
Lockheed
just knew
Martin.
that you did it. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like working at Lockheed Martin here in central New York, for people that are
Mm.
familiar with that. But
Yeah.
it was a defense company. It was originally Sperry Gyroscope, and then it turned into Unisys Corporation. And as often the case with these companies, they just, there's these equity groups, and they just get sold, and then they change their name. Like, you're still doing the same thing, but now you got a different letterhead. You're like, what's happening here? Am I still have a job? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I still have a job.
Yeah, right. Above your pay grade.
All you're worried about every time one of those things happen is that you still
I'm sure.
because everything is like a bloodletting. Like, okay, now that we own it, let's cut back.
Yeah.
Let's make some more money by having less people.
100%. Who did that just happen to? That just happened to someone.
Yeah.
Oh, PFF, Pro Football Focus. So my gosh, our guy.
Yep.
Who's our adult wasserman, and I was trying to think of everybody all at once, but yeah, they just sold the business part of it, and they cut and Trevor Sikkema, Dalton Wasserman. I mean, they destroy, and that sucks for the real people that are there. Totally took them all out. So.
And we just mentioned the other day when we were on the air about Smoky Bones, right? All the people.
Oh my God, yes, right, of course.
Bloodletted out. That wasn't a corporate takeover. That was a going out of business deal, I guess.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this anymore. So anyway, or some semblance of it. Okay, well, enough of the corporate world. Let's get into the sports world here on a Monday, and a lot to get to. Headline of the show today is something that I know you love to talk about, something that I just wish I didn't have to talk about again and again and again, but it is starting to feel like it might be more of a reality. And the reason that it's a reality is because the Giants now have a documented injury, and that is Darius Slayton, who right now on the depth chart is listed as wide receiver 2, alongside Malik Neighbors, assuming Neighbors is back in time to even start the season, which is still in question. But Slayton, who re-signed with the Giants, he has an abdominal issue, and he actually had an operation. So he's already gone under the knife for this abdominal issue. Mm-hmm. And they expect him to be back for training camp, but you've got to have people just in case. And the Giants did, right around the time of the combine, work out Odell Beckham Jr., the former Giant, who's been down an interesting road, didn't even play football last year at all, is still, 34 maybe?
Let me pull him up. Yeah, I think his age is younger than people think. People think he's like an old man, but
I think he'd be 38, 39.
Okay, let's take guesses before I Google it. What do you think it is?
34 is my guess. And I might be high. I don't know. Might be high.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of when he was drafted. So what would that be?
Yeah, you're the good guy with the draft. You can figure all that nonsense out.
I'll call him. I think this is too old. I'm going to say 36, but I think that's too old. I don't think he's that old. But
okay,
all right,
let's see.
Let's look it up.
He's
33. He turns 34 in November. That's unbelievable.
I'm pretty close. So he is younger than it seems.
People think, right? Yeah.
Or people think. And he did work out, and apparently it went pretty well. And John Harbaugh has been a little bit cagey and just saying, like, if everything's right, if it's the right situation. And I think they wanted to get through the draft. They obviously drafted one wide receiver in the draft in Malachi Richardson. And,
Malachi Fields.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes. And so they, the question is, do they need another receiver? But now with Slayton and this abdominal issue, it kind of feels like maybe it does make some sense. So again, listen, when Odell was on all cylinders and catching passes for the Giants, he was phenomenal. I mean, he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory with the New York Football Giants as a receiver. He was breaking records regularly. So I don't begrudge him for any of that. He was a very good football player for the Giants for a number of years. And then, like, I don't know, man, like a light switch went off, okay, or something was flickering, there was a
Something clearly
mal
happened, yeah.
the bad connection, and he
Yeah.
just started kinda getting goofy and getting a little whack, and was frankly embarrassing this organization time and time again with, weird TikTok/YouTube videos and just weird
That
stuff.
one thing in the hotel room, yeah, the
Yeah,
pizza
the
and the
hotel one, that
weird
was really
powder
bizarre.
substance,
Yeah.
I
So, it was just wasn't good.
yeah,
So Odell went down a bad path off the field,
sure.
and the Giants, for a bit, stood behind him despite the embarrassment, and then they just got tired of it and said, "Listen, we're done. We're a respectful organization here. We're not doing this anymore," and they sent him out the door, essentially. Uh,
Although, they signed him to a long-term deal and then sent him out the
and then
door a
sent him
few
out the
months
door.
later, which screwed up their cap, so it was a
Yeah,
what the
but that was, again, because of his
indecisiveness.
transgressions.
Yeah, I
He
guess
just
that's true.
he just kept doing more goofy stuff, and they're like, "That's it. I don't care. We paid you or not. You're out of here."
Right.
And so they traded him, and that was
To
that. And,
Cleveland, yep.
and then he had a couple of,
Too,
reasonable
right.
bursts, I'd say, with some other teams. I know he did play for Harbaugh and the Ravens
He
and
did, he
actually had a
absolutely did.
reasonable season. I mean, certainly not,
Yeah.
back to his Giant standards, but had a reasonable season. Um, and remember, he had the Super Bowl appearance. Who was that
Yeah,
with?
with
Was
the
that with the
Rams.
Rams? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
the
he ended up
Rams.
winning a Super Bowl ring. So,
Yeah.
he had a decent season with Cleveland. So the first year he gets traded, decent season, 74 catches, 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns, which basically was in line with his previous season. Like his first 3 years in the league were nuts. 1,300 yards, 1,400 yards, 1,300 yards, double-digit touchdowns every year, 100+ catches. Like his first 3 years were like the best 3 years we've ever seen from a receiver. And then he fell off a cliff and got hurt in 2017. 2018, he comes back to some level of respectability. 70 catches, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. He did that with Cleveland, and then it was just a bag of injuries. He never returned to form after that from 2020 on. He did have the pocket in the Super Bowl with the Rams, but yeah, all the numbers, he never reached 1,000 yards again. So he hasn't had 1,000 yards in 2019, which was 7 years ago. So it's been a long time since he was OBJ.
And interestingly enough, talk about full circle moments here, right? So I'm going back to the trade right now, Boy Green, because I was trying to remember. I remember they
Okay,
got Jabril
cool.
Peppers, right? The safety. Remember they brought him over from Cleveland, and
Who
he
was it you
played
said?
with Jabril Peppers.
Oh,
He
yes, the
came,
former first
came in.
rounder out of Michigan.
Yep,
Yep.
he came in.
Okay.
He came and played right away, and then they also got a first and third round pick in the 2019
That's not
draft. And I'm
bad
just scrolling through this article.
to see what they
They
ended up
turned it
getting.
into Dexter Lawrence, a full
Wow.
circle moment. Uh, and the third rounder was O'Shane Ximenez, that guy with the X that has the weird name. I
Oh,
don't know what
X,
his name
right.
is.
Yeah.
And blah blah blah.
But
And
Dexter was a really good player for a long time. So,
yeah,
okay. Or long time,
they
all
got
things
they got
considered, I guess.
some mileage out of Peppers, and then they got Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah,
Okay,
Peppers was fine. Right.
so isn't that like a weird, kind of full circle
Full
moment, right? That, now
the same
Dexter's
offseason that Dexter Lawrence leaves, OBJ could be
OBJ
back.
comes
That's
back.
crazy.
And I don't
It's
know, can
wild.
this guy have a rebirth after not playing an entire season? And when I say rebirth, it's not like, okay, let's plug this guy back into wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2.
Well, that's it. I was about to ask you, what are expectations? Because that's it. Like when people say, what is OBJ and the Giants in Act 2? Well, what are your expectations for OBJ? That sets the tone. If your expectations are he's just going to be on the roster, he's wide receiver 6 or 5, and he contributes sometimes. Okay. If your expectations are, hey, Malik Neighbors, he's about to show you how it's done, and here you go. That's another thing. Or just the mentor role, which is beyond the field. Do you want Malik Neighbors taking any notes and quotes from OBJ in preparation and things of that nature? It's expectations, I think, is the question that leads to your commentary you're having here,
Right.
largely.
And that was always the thing with Odell that it seems like almost every coach that's ever coached him has said is that he's apparently a really hard worker.
Yeah.
And that he's very, very detail oriented in terms of how he prepares as a receiver and the kind of, mental/physical things that he does day in and day out that make him a guy, dare I say, with all this weird off the field stuff, which scares me like there's no tomorrow. Um, it does seem like in camp, on the field, he actually can be a good football mentor. But, football isn't the only thing when you're mentoring people. And, it scares me a little bit to put a guy like Malik Neighbors around him. Okay. If there are off the field issues that still linger, even if he's a really good on the field guy in practice, these guys, they play cards together, they room together, they do
Yeah.
things together. And if he's a bad influence to Malik Neighbors, well, that would be not worth any of the things that he might teach him on the field, if indeed that would be part of his role. But what would be success, you ask? I mean, for me, success would be, could he catch 40 to 50 passes for 500 yards? And that a handful of those catches would be meaningful. That to me would be a really successful season at this stage of Odell Beckham Jr.'s career, which, a lot of teams would take in a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 kind of world, So I think that's what he is these days, if he's something. Okay, if he's even worthy of that, I think that would be potentially attainable if his physical is, if he is physically fit to play football again. Because he's been away for a bit, so and he hasn't done anything big in a while.
No, it's been again 7 years since he had 1,000 yards. Now he's had moments in it.
Okay, what was numbers the last few years?
Sure. Yes, I have it. Yeah, I have it right here. Here are the Odell Beckham Jr. stats. So this is
he didn't play last year, so no last year.
Yeah,
so
right.
2023.
Yeah, so here you go. So here are all the numbers. Yeah, right. 2024 would be the last year. So yeah, because some people may forget this trip. So in 2024, I'll go to his most recent season in which he played. He played for Miami. Okay, he appeared in 9 games. He had 9 catches for 55 yards.
Okay, so
he didn't score a touchdown. Yeah, right.
That's not full season. Okay, so now we've got 3 years of kind of nothing. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to 2023. That's where he signed the 1-year deal with Baltimore for really good money. He got like $15 million guaranteed. He had 35 catches, 565 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Okay, so that would be like, could he do that or even a little bit better than that?
That's what I would say. That would be my line in the sand for him, somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Okay. And so John Harbaugh saw that. That's the last time John Harbaugh, watched him play, day in and day out on the football field. And supposedly, and I've been hearing a lot about this through a lot of the writers that cover the Giants, that OBJ and Harbaugh still dialogue quite a bit. They text each other regularly. There's contact. There's genuine.
I would have never thought that for Harbaugh. No offense to like interpret, but like
right. I don't know if you want to call them friends, but they are certainly acquaintances that, professional acquaintances. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. That's
what the heck they're texting each other about. I don't know. But
I would be very curious to be a fly on the wall for that.
They seem to be a fan of each other a bit anyway.
That's nice. That's important. And 2022, Beckham didn't play. He didn't sign that entire year. So he just sat out of football.
Wow, another football sat out. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so in the last
and then the year prior to that, he was on the Rams.
And then what was numbers with the Rams that year?
Yeah, so remember, he was on both the Browns and the Rams in 2021.
Give me the combined.
Yeah, so the combined numbers are, and this does not include playoffs. This does not include whatever OBJ contributed during the postseason. But it's 44 catches, 500 yards, 537 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
So see, we're back to where I said if he could do that, those 2 seasons that were in that pile of garbage, including didn't play at all, and played for Miami barely. Okay, so 3 of the last 5 years are a complete disaster. 2 of the last 5 years are exactly what I would want
for what he is.
Guy if he could come to the Giants. And
I agree,
and be given a reasonable amount of playing time.
Right.
So I don't know. Are you willing to essentially take the old wheel and spin it one more time?
And that's where my line is as well. If someone said, "Hey," right. With expectations, I'd say somewhere in the ballpark of 40-plus catches, 400 to 600 yards, and touchdowns are hard. Like, he's really good in the red zone, but I don't know what he is anymore. And when you're in the red zone, it's not by accident you go to someone. You're targeting someone. You were saying, "Hey, here's our plan. We're looking at the play. OBJ one-on-one." Like, how often am I doing? I don't know, 3 touchdowns or something. Like, that's sort of the line. He's a wide receiver 4, wide receiver 3 if you have an injury.
Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah, best case scenario. Scenario.
Right. Maybe he's surprised he's better than that, but my expectations wouldn't be above that, certainly.
No.
No. And there's some nostalgia, Lurch. Come on, sell the jerseys. Bring the 13s back out. Come on. There's some juice there. There's some hoopla,
I'm trying to get excited about the future, not the past. That's the thing with Giant fans.
But you get the past and present, right? Him being with Jackson Dart, that's going to be like a what the? He was catching passes from Eli Manning. Now he's catching passes from Jackson Dart. It's going to be a bizarro what the kind of world. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, well, hey, it is what it is, as they say, but still,
Absolutely.
nonetheless, it
So
is.
it's possible. By the way, it's not official yet. So if people are just
Yes.
listening to
No,
this,
it's not. No,
he
it's not.
hasn't signed. He did do a workout, which again, that's a first step of legitimacy. That it's more than just a passing rumor. So they worked him out, but nothing's official yet at all. But Darius Slayton did have core muscle surgery. It sounds like he's going to be out the entire spring. And best case, he's ready for training camp.
Yeah,
So
right,
like
exactly.
that's a lot.
So, right,
So
you wanna have
you
another
need a
guy in the mix
body,
in the meantime, right, and so
veteran minimum. Why not? I don't know.
yeah. So it's starting to look like it might happen, so we'll see. It's 13 gonna be
Get
back
with it.
in blue. There was one other piece of news out of Giants camp before we move on to some other things I wanna talk
Yes.
about, including the NBA playoffs, and that is, Deonte Banks, the much
Corner.
maligned corner for the Giants, aka Tay Banks. Okay, the Giants did not or are not picking up his 5th-year option.
So they're declining
So,
his 5th-year option.
so correct, they're declining the 5th-year option, which would be next year's contract.
Correct.
So at the end of this season, he can do whatever he
He's
wants.
set to be a free agent.
He does go out and have a good season for the Giants. Maybe he can strike a new deal with the Giants, but if not, he's set to be a free agent. So the Giants are not going to go down that road with Tay Banks. He just has not gotten it done. So there you go.
Smallest violin in the world.
Right.
There
They don't want to give him that guarantee.
That stinks.
And all that, yeah.
Which you don't want to. If you draft the first round pick, you know that a 5th year is built into it, and to decline it is that means it didn't go well enough. So that stinks.
And I'm pretty sure that was a Gettleman pick. If you want to double check that, but I think that was a Gettleman pick. I'm trying to remember. That was again another. I think that was another trade down situation for the Giants. Of course, we know Kadarius Toney was a Gettleman pick. Now, was he the last bad Gettleman pick, or was Tay Banks?
No. So yeah, this
pick?
is well past him. Yeah, it's got to be Shane because Gettleman's last year with the Giants was in 2021. So is what it has on
pick.
here. Deonte Banks was a 2023 pick, so 2 years later.
Okay, all right. So it's a Joe Shane pick. So it's not a good Joe Shane pick. Adding them up, we got Evan Neal. We got Tay Banks. Both of those guys, by the way, 1st-round picks. Okay, and we know how high Neal was.
And they did pick up. No, wait. I want to make sure I don't conflate my ears. Oh, yeah, that was long decided, so never mind. I was going to say Kayvon Thibodeau, but that 5th-year option obviously was picked up because he's in his 5th-year option right now. Yes,
and wasn't that Banks pick off of the good Dable year? So they were low in the 1st round that year.
Correct. That would have been the 2nd year. Correct.
Yeah, that was in the 20s pick. So the Giants did not have a very high pick that year. So Tay Banks wasn't a high 1st-rounder, but nonetheless, he was still a 1st-rounder and one of the first couple of corners off the board. So, the Giants missed on that. They chose unwisely, as we say, right? Unwisely.
They took him, 24th overall. So let me just take a peek. I just love doing this. Let me just take a peek at who did they pass on? Who did the Giants pass on? So they took Deonte Banks.
I hate doing this.
Okay. All right, let me see.
All
right, well, good news, right? That I'm scrolling a little bit and I'm not seeing an immediate name. That's a good sign. Good. Okay.
Nobody's like, oh, man.
Okay. So here's one that was pretty good. Sam Laporta was taken a few picks later by the Detroit Lions. He's been a really good tight end. So that's that. But I'm looking through. See? Okay. See, there's not immediate. Normally you fear a Hall of Famer's immediately the next pick. You're like, ah.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Brian Branch has been really good for the Detroit Lions. He went a few picks later in the 2nd round. So, okay. I'm circling through. Lurch, you're safe. I mean, Rashee Rice has been really good, but let's be honest, there's been a lot of beyond the field issues with that young man. So no, and now I'm already in the 3rd round. So look, you Lurch, you didn't blow it. So it doesn't look like completely blood. That's a good way to put it.
Boy, that doesn't sound like a good draft. Whew. Okay. No, anyway, so we'll see. He's on the roster this year theoretically, unless he gets cut, and then, this will be a prove-it year for him with the Giants and whether or not he's going to stick around or not. So,
hey, if did you guys? So I'm going to have to double check this, but I think I remember this. The Giants declined the 5th-year option, Daniel Jones, and then he had the year, and then they went, "Ah, crap! Now we have to do something." If I remember that correctly, is that right?
I think that's right.
So I will double check that.
Was the Giants decline Jones's 5th-year option and then sign him?
Yes, they declined the 5th-year option. So again, this is the risk, right? So this is what's about to happen with Banks. So the Giants declined the 5th-year option. Like Daniel Jones is not proven enough to get paid that kind of money. Decline, which again, you're making this decision 3 years in, which means if you accept this contract in any given year, you control that player for 2 more years. If you decline it, you only control him for 1 more year. They decline on Daniel Jones. He has his career year. And Giants are like, geez, all right, we franchise tag him because he became a free agent sooner. And then obviously that caused the whole Saquon Barkley thing to the Eagles. So, if Tay Banks, you decline it, the motivation's on. If he balls out, now the Giants have to make a decision. Do we franchise tag this guy? Do we let him go? And that's where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. So just a little bit on Odell and the Giants, and we'll see where it goes. Like I said, like Boy Green said, nothing official at this point, but it's a story, probably more for nostalgia than anything else. And the Giants may have a need here with Slayton having this core issue and having to get an operation again. Expected back for camp, but those things are tricky.
It's a lot of months.
So,
you don't know.
And that's a little scary because Neighbors is still very, very questionable as to when he returns. I mean, I don't think there's a lot of doubt that he returns this season, but is he ready for game 1? Is he not ready until a few weeks into the season? Is he get a piece of training camp in? Is he available for all of training camp? It seems like that's a little more of a long shot. So, but if you don't have your number 1 and the guy at this point, Slayton, your number 2, has just undergone surgery, and while he's expected back, and how much can you depend on him? All right, now we're down to number 3. Is suddenly Malachi Fields, number 1 here? Like, that's not a good situation for the Giants. So, it may not be the worst idea in the world to have a little insurance policy or a temporary fix. And could Odell be that? And the one thing I would say about Odell, and I remember when I know you are a huge Boy Green, you're a huge Terrell Owens fan.
T.O.
Over the years, we've spent a lot of time talking about T.O. and his crazy hijinks off the field, and T.O.'s a whole world. Like he's getting his T.O. autograph book out of here or something.
I definitely have a T.O. book back here. All right, I'm going to look for it. I can hear you. Keep going.
All right, so he's looking for his T.O. book. But Boy Green, excuse me, is a crazy T.O. lover. And him and I, over the years in the radio, going back to the radio days, had a lot of, back and forths, let's just say, friendly back and forths, where, again, a guy like T.O. to me just wasn't at a, there came a point at which T.O. just wasn't worth the trouble anymore. And I think, him and Beckham have some similarities while they are two very different people. And the one thing is, as T.O. continued, now T.O. was older, I believe, when he was still wanting employment in the NFL. But he was doing these workouts, he kept posting videos on his social media channels of him, running routes and making incredible catches. And you were just like, damn, and he was racing against people, right? Didn't he race against somebody? Something
right. He ran a 40-yard dash that appeared. I don't know if the stopwatch was the stopwatch for the video, but he ran a 4.4 or something. You're like at like 37 or whatever he was. You're like, what?
Theo was, was trying to fan the flames of,
it seemed to be working.
I can still play. Somebody, somebody should hire me to continue to play football. Now Theo is older, but there have been some videos out on Beckham. And the
flag football event, right?
Yeah, and that flag football event is a good example of it. And the one thing about Beckham, and again, just like T.O., when you go back and look at those T.O. videos, you're like, damn, maybe I should sign this guy.
Right.
Help, it's still T.O. after all. And Beckham it's the same thing. You watch him play, whether it's that flag football or other videos that he's put out of him working out with people. And like he's making all these one-handed catches. His hands are like glue. He just has that. We saw the unbelievable catch that kind of started the whole thing of one-handed catches are just now becoming a thing. Have become a thing in the NFL where a lot of receivers out there can do the one-handed catch. But he kind of almost was the instigator, the initiator of that with that phenomenal catch for a touchdown for the Giants all those years ago. But he works on that all the time. And they got the jugs machine. He's just like. He's catching him like it's like he's got a baseball glove on his hand. You're like, what the heck? How is he catching a football like that? You or I try that. Forget it. We wouldn't catch one out of 100. Okay. And this guy's he's just got amazing, it's almost like Spider-Man catching the ball there. He's got webs on his hand or something. And so he looks really impressive in these videos. And it reminds me of T.O. when he was doing all those workouts. So, is the guy on video the guy that, will actually in pads in a game look like that? I mean, I don't think there's any arguing that. I don't know that receivers lose their hands, their good hands.
Yeah, right. Right.
They lose a step,
Speed.
right? You know, they
Yeah,
might lose
stuff
the
like that,
ability to
right.
take the pounding that receivers take and the
Yeah, right,
hits.
durability-wise, right.
But the hands don't change. And again, for me, if I'm the Giants and Beckham inevitably becomes part of this roster because they feel he's a viable
Yeah,
source here as a wide receiver, my thought would be to take advantage of that catch radius and those amazing hands down by the goal line. All right. And not do a ton of things with him over the middle, in the breadth of the field, like make him a specialist, where he's just like a tight end down there. He's so good at catching the ball at angles and making, hard catches that, use him in the goal line situation. And so he becomes a touchdown guy for you, which would be awesome. You'd like that. Giants fans would like that. If it
sure,
worked, it'd be great.
right? Yeah.
And you kind of spare his body a little bit where you don't have him running routes, all over the field all the time.
Mhm.
That'd be my thought. Again, if they keep him.
Yeah, but I love that you brought
Right.
that up because, like, I had not thought about that in a while, the T.O. workout videos that he kept trying to do, and you talk to the right, this is, on a level of what I'm about to say is on a more serious subject, but we talk about the relationship between, the athlete and the reporter and the source and trading information, right? So T.O. goes to his favorite. I'm sure, I don't know if it was at the time, but right, he goes to Ian Rapport. Here's my workout video. You want to send this out to the people and let me know I'm available? And he uses his ability to get that out. And then Rappaport later says, hey, when you decide to sign with this team or this team, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. There's a little back and forth. There's a little what's the terminology for that? I don't know if that's Latin. What's the language for that, Larch? There's some word for it. Like, I do something for you, you do something for me. There's a
Not sure.
it escapes me. It'll randomly hit me later, I'm sure. But so I'm thinking about it, whatever that word is. But so you have that sort of thing. So the reporter helps out T.O., builds some hype, right? If he sent that to Schefter, back in the day, and said, hey, Shefty, hook me up. People are going crazy, and we're talking about on shows. Oh man, did you see T.O.? He was running on the field, man.
Right.
And they should do it. Public pressure. Hey, Buffalo, Cincinnati team, you should be signing this guy. He's out there. Give him a
Yeah.
try. What do you have to lose? And that's what should be happening,
Gotcha. All right, look, I want to get to a lot of other things today, so I think we've flushed the Beckham thing, and we'll see what happens. But it's definitely a possibility for the Giants now. And it was, but now maybe with the Slayton injury, does it come to the forefront a little bit more? Do the Giants finally make a decision on this front? Is it worth it having an extra body, especially considering what I think it will cost them, which shouldn't be a lot? I think this guy's just looking more for an opportunity than he is looking for a massive paycheck. So, what is the going rate for a guy like Odell? And then if he were to make this roster, how would the Giants utilize him? I think these are all questions to be answered. And if he gets signed, then we'll probe and prod into that a little bit. Before we go out to break here, by the way, we are presented today by Northeast Roofing Professionals, nerpcny.com. Today's video brought to you by our friends at Box Drop Syracuse. Boy Green, I was just at Box Drop. It was on Saturday. I stopped in there to see Paul. Of course, it's Paul and only Paul because he's doing everything. He actually had the lovely in with me, and we were laying on some mattresses because we're closing in on a mattress purchase.
Are you doing
out some stuff? The split.
Oh, no. Are you doing I don't know how close she is.
A sign here.
But I'm putting on a crown. Are you getting a certain?
Oh, am I going king size?
Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say the word, but yes.
It's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, we're still discussing
because here's the thing,
measuring and all that kind of stuff.
She's definitely not watching the show. She does. I guess I've ruined everything.
She's not watching.
But I don't think she is. My fiance. I'm thinking of I don't know if Pat is, but no, I'm fairly certain. I'm talking about my fiance. She's like watching the kids upstairs.
Okay.
I'm thinking of this week, because Mother's Day is coming up, and we'll talk about that later, I'm sure, throughout the week on the show. For one way that you can give a shout out. Do I slide into Paul, just knock? I think the store's not just open all the time. You got to do your appointments and stuff. But I kind of say, hey, Paul, you may want to be around 3:00, and then whatever day that is. And I just swing by and say, hey, here's what I'm thinking. Do I start the process of going king me and do that and get her involved for Mother's Day in the card or something? She opens up the card and sees there's a stub for like, hey, we have an appointment scheduled for us to both see. Because I'm sure, like, if I just went and bought one and she didn't like it, the hell would
Yeah.
terrible things would happen.
Hey,
So
she's got to
instead,
try it.
so
Gotta
include
try it.
her. So like say, hey, she's like, what's this? I'm like, well, we have an appointment next week with Paul, and we're gonna pick one out that you want. And then she goes,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is terrific. So I'm thinking about doing that maybe this week. That's
I'll
been in
tell
my
you what.
head.
I'll tell you what worked out well for me
Lay it on
because
me.
I knew
Yeah.
I wanted to drag her in there.
Sure.
Because I had tried them all out, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I like this. There's a couple I like."
Yeah, sure.
And I did like the idea not only of the king as you're talking about, but I like the idea of the split adjustable because she
I thought
always
about
puts
that.
the bed
Yeah.
down. It drives me crazy. But I don't know. Because there's only certain mattresses come in the split adjustable, and then I also don't like that you can get them this way, and Paul might have one or two that you can do this way, but that's not really ideal where literally you have a divide right down the center of the bed, and then the whole bed is each side is fully adjustable, feet and head. All right, which is I have a fully adjustable in my bedroom now, but it's not a split adjustable, so the whole top
Oh,
goes up,
so if
the whole
you're
bottom,
going up, you're both going
we're
up.
all
If you're
going up. Right?
going down, you're
And, that,
going
and
down.
this is the worst of it for me. All right. Sorry to get into mattress talk here,
No,
folks.
that's
But,
all right. Okay.
that's the worst of it for me because she hates it moved. She just wants it flat all the time. And I'm like, why do we get this adjustable bed if you
Well,
want it
that's
flat all
also
the time?
true.
I love getting up here when I'm watching a little TV. Sometimes I like to get my legs up. It kind of relieves the pressure in your low back. Try it someday, folks. Just go to one of those mattress stores and just put just bring the legs up and just stay flat on your head. You're going to be like, wow, whoa, it takes the tension right out of your back.
Really?
That's always
Oh,
nice every once in a while, too, when
okay.
you've just been laying around for a while. Maybe you're sick or something and you've been laying in bed
Okay.
for a while. It's just very kind of therapeutic in a way.
Okay. Well, I never thought.
So I like to play a little bit, from time to time with the adjustable thing. And I only do it when she's not in the bed because she just drives me crazy.
Right.
Like,
So
"Can you put
she
your head down?
hates
Can you
it. So
put
you
the
have
feet
no
down? Can you put
choice,
the head
right?
down?"
And
It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. So if I could get the split, you could get the split where it's just one side, other side, and now you have full control of your side, and she could always leave hers flat, and I could completely. But then you got that, you got that line down the middle, where there's a little bit of a, I don't want to call it a gap, but it might be a small gap, because it's essentially two
oh,
mattresses,
oh
two.
yeah. I guess I didn't think about it
It's
like
like
that.
taking
Okay.
two things and putting them together. It's like putting two twins together in a weird way. But you can get these ones that are split, but then it's just the top end of the mattress. The bottom does adjust, but if you just adjusted one side, it's kind of like weird, like like just the
Oh,
corner of it comes up. So that's not, you want it to come straight up.
yeah.
So
Right.
so he was showing me that too. I was like, that kind of defeats the purpose. If you want adjustability, you want feet all the way up, head all the way up, and just adjust
Not
it.
like a
Not
hat,
like
somewhere half in
it's like
between.
a hack. It's like kind of like a hack. But the top is fully adjustable, and you could go
Oh.
either or. She could be flat. You could come up as much as you want, and
Okay.
unaffected is the other side. So that's not too bad. But anyway, looking at all that crazy stuff. But here was the good thing. Back to my story about getting her in there was I had tried a couple and liked a couple, and I'm just like, I hope she likes the same ones because we're not always in agreement with these things, and this is what makes it so hard, having a significant other and sharing a bed is, you don't always love the same things. And she got on all the beds, and the two that she picked are the same two that I like.
Oh,
So now we're
nice.
down to, all right, no matter what, I'm getting a bed that I like. I'm getting a mattress that I like. Now the question is, do I go king size and which way? Are we
Okay, real quick, just because we're in the mattress talk, did you influence her? Like, so you tried out two, and you're like, "Oh yeah, baby, please pick these two." Did you like, "Hey, these are all great. Wow, I mean, these are right here." Do you do it, or did she come to that conclusion on her own?
in conclusion, yeah. I
And
did
see,
not influence
that's
her at all.
more rewarding, Lurch. That
Yes.
she found it organically. She found the ones that you wanted, and you didn't have to strong arm her into it. That's beautiful.
And
I
you know
like
how
that.
Paul has the store set up. I mean, he has the store set up really efficiently.
I have not been there.
Not like this
Yeah.
fancy retail store.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't been in the store?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, wow, you haven't been
Maybe
to the
I guess
store.
maybe once together
Maybe
we
once. I
went.
think I think we
Yeah.
did go together once.
I think once, but no, I haven't been there besides that. No.
But it's not a fancy retail store, folks, for anybody that wants to go over and service Box Drop, who are great people. Paul's fantastic. But he has them basically, from, the least expensive mattress, and it just works your way all the way up to the most expensive mattress. And one of the things that he does with his clients that I really, really love is he doesn't just put them on the nicest bed first, which is what a lot of the retail stores do. Try this out. That's $10,000. You're like, holy camale.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try out a mattress that I actually can afford. He takes them all the way down to the beginning and says, let's start here and let's just see what you like as we go up, and then he says, this one is, $100. And
I like that it's set up that way.
and then he just walks you down. Well, what I did with Pat is, I started about halfway up the line,
Yeah.
because I wasn't interested in an inexpensive mattress because this is something I'm going to sleep on theoretically every night. And so we started somewhere in the middle, and then I just said, "Well, why don't you try this one? What do you think of that? Try this one." And she just moved her way across. And then once she got through them, and she said, "I think this and this." I said, "All right, let's do it again. Let's try these 4 again."
Yeah, right.
We kind of narrowed the band a little bit.
So you did the glasses thing. You go to the doctor, number 2 or number 3?
Yeah, right. There you go. Yeah, it's
number 1 or number 4?
Same. Looks about the same. A little better.
All right, back to 2 and 5.
Two. Like, are you just tricking me? Are you just putting the same thing up there? Like sometimes like no
that
different.
Is very
You're doing. You're trying to trick me.
But especially for mattresses, right? You don't want to have like an immediate, like you just lay it and go, oh yeah, this is good. Like for me, like when we do this king thing, like I want to make sure it's right, because like if I just try to make a passing judgment off being on there for a second,
Absolutely.
and I'm not telling the difference between mattress 1 and mattress 7, then we get home like, oh, I hate this. It's too late. Rubber has met road. Yes. So you got to really be sure.
And I like that I went in advance, so
smart.
She didn't know what I was thinking. I didn't have to get on with her together and be like, "Ooh, what do you think?" Again.
You already knew. You were decisive. You went.
I was already knew where I was stood, and I was just like, "Let's see. Come on, man. Do me a favor, Lord. Get me."
Did you do a prayer before you got in? A little blessed be He, and okay.
Some way she did pick the same thing as me. So I was like, "Well, we have something in common. I guess there is a reason we're together." So anyway, but yeah. So I'm closing in on a purchase with Paul. And it sounds like you might be for Mother's Day. That'd be great. Yeah, but I would absolutely take her there and let her talk.
Yeah, because I feel like that would be a massive mistake. That's how the Mother's Day immediately flips. I just made a decision. But here's the thing I don't understand. Now we're into women here, Lurch. But like, so I've heard from some women that they want you to just take control and do it. And I'm like, don't ask me, do you want to go here or there? You just make decision. We're going to this restaurant. I'm taking you there at 6:00. And then you go to the restaurant, they complain. And if I don't pick anything, and then it's a back and forth, hey, where do you want to go to dinner tonight? Well, I don't know. Okay, let me throw. What about Mexican? Do you want Mexican? No, I don't. All right, what about some hibachi, perhaps? Hibachi? No. And then like that, what the hell? You're not making the decision on your own. I'm trying to float some options. You're declining all those. Like, what in the world? It's unbelievable.
Jamie throwing out the insults this morning. Manchild needs a new mattress so he can cry into it when the
Good
Knicks
Lord.
Excuse me, Jamie. Maybe you should be talking about my partner here crying about.
Hey, whoa! I didn't even say anything, man.
No, he's the one already in tears.
I am in tears. It's brutal. But let me clarify. There's another one here. Okay, yeah. Let me throw up this comment from Jamie. Okay, so Derby was awesome. Boy Green.
Let's talk about the Derby in a couple minutes.
Yeah. I'm really focusing on the middle of what he just said here. So no, Derby we'll talk about later, and Matt from Auburn will talk about that situation later. But the middle of this, Paul, I'm going to root. You should root for the Sixers. Let me make this abundantly clear. I am a Knicks guy now.
Yeah.
Go New York, go New York, go. Screw the Sixers. Hell no. This garbage that you get beat by a team, so now you like get adopted by that team, and you want that team to win the championship, and thus, at least we lost to the champs. Hell no. Screw the 76ers and screw their chicken crap thing they're trying to do. Did you see the chicken thing they're trying to do?
We'll get into that.
Unbelievable. I'll leave it for apparently a later part of the show, but disgraceful. Disgraceful.
Disgusting. Despicable.
But no, I'm not a Sixers guy now. I'm a Knicks guy. Go New York, go win the championship. It's been too damn long. Let's go.
Before we go out to break, I do want to bring up a sad thing that happened this morning, and it's already been mentioned in the comments, and that is the passing of John Sterling, the longtime Yankee voice. John Sterling, I mean, I've got the numbers here. John Sterling, 87 years young as he passed. We know in recent years there was some health issues, and he was trying to hang in there and continue to do Yankee games, and then eventually had to bow out. He was the Yankee announcer since 1989 and did call games before then, but he's really become known as kind of the voice of the Yankees. 36 years with the Yankees. We were talking about shows earlier today. John Sterling has called as many Yankee games as I've done radio shows, because the final tally for Sterling is 5,631 games. All right. In those games, 8 World Series that he called, including 5 wins by the Yankees in World Series. And he called, this is an interesting one, but it would make sense with all the years, every single Derek Jeter and every single Mariano Rivera game.
Oh, that makes sense to cover their careers. Wow, that's cool though.
He didn't miss a single Jeter or Rivera game in all of the years calling. So
Wow.
very sad day for Yankee fans. John Sterling, can't say I knew him really well, but I can say a couple of quick things about him.
Please.
Number one, everything that I've heard from my colleagues in the broadcasting business, some of whom are local, always receptive to coming on air and doing interviews with people. One of my good buddies from Central New York radio, Mike Lindsley, who's a big diehard
Oh,
Yankee fan,
yes, definitely.
interviewed Sterling several times on his
That's
radio show
cool.
and inevitably, I think, on his podcast as well. So Sterling was always very, very accommodating. I did hear a lot of his interviews over the years. He was always, it was just nice and fun and, like he really seemed like a good guy. I'm not a Yankee fan, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm like the goo goo gaga John Sterling guy. That would be disingenuous in all honesty. I was never a huge fan of the boisterous, insane
Which you're
calls.
going to hear on a call that we have here in a
Yep.
second. Yeah.
But I know Yankee fans did love him, and with good reason. And I think maybe if he was the Mets guy, I probably would have loved him.
Sure.
But I absolutely respected him, and I'm absolutely sad today that we've lost one of the legends in our business, in the broadcasting business, a guy that called, over 5,600 Yankee games alone.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And he called a lot of history. I mean, that's one of the
Mhm.
things with the Yankees. It's what makes the Yankee fan, I suppose, so unique. As much as I don't like them, one of the things that's very unique about the Yankee fan is that Yankee baseball has had a tremendous history
Mhm.
with more championships, as we know, than any other team in baseball.
Mhm.
And John Sterling, as I mentioned, 8 World Series calls and 5 World Series wins for the Yankees. So yeah, Paul, I asked Paul if he could dig up a vintage Sterling call. So this is from, I think, the ALCS one year,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
it's
here
a
we go.
Bernie Williams home run call. Take a listen.
Myers deals, swung on and driven to deep left. It is high, it is far, and it's gone. Yankees win. The Yankees win. Bernie Williams homers deep in the left field seats to lead off the 11th inning on a 1-1 pitch. And the Yankees beat the Orioles 5-4 to win Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Burn, baby, burn.
There you go, vintage Sterling.
The Texera, the this. For a piece of for a piece of my I let me make this very, very clear. I hate the Yankees, but I respect John Sterling and the legacy and all that. I'm sure, again, everything you said, if I was a Yankees fan, I'm sure I would eat all that kind of stuff up. For a brief period of my life, I worked the behind the scenes of some Yankees games. And in those cases, I'm just broadcasting a game. I'm not talking to John, obviously. We're one of many networks that they're sending the Yankees game to across the country. So it's not like Syracuse Mets games. I'm talking to the people. We are constant in communication throughout the radio broadcast behind the scenes of pushing buttons, levers, changing levels, all that kind of stuff. In my case, we're an affiliate when I did the Yankees games and stuff. But so I got to hear plenty of John Sterling in my life. And, he had a passion for it. You talked about we talk about some players like not Iron Man streaks, right? Like Eli Manning, Brett
Yes,
Favre. We go through
right.
those guys.
Good way to
Like,
put it.
think about all the things in your life of broadcast streaks, especially in baseball, where you got 1,000 billion games with playoffs, regular season, all this stuff, and to have the track record he does. And absolutely, again, despite the fact I'm not a Yankees guy, how can you not possibly tip the cap to a legend? So I was incredibly sad to see that this morning. There's actually a John Sterling tip of the cap in the middle of our show, but I wasn't, and I don't think that person was either, was aware of the news that came out shortly thereafter. So very sad news, and my heart's out to his family.
Hey, if you can for a moment here, as I finish up talking about John Sterling. So Craig CF Mechanics threw up a Thriller by Godzilla, and I know exactly what he's talking about. Boy Green, just Google up. Yeah, it's Hideki Matsui, the former Yankee hitter, and yeah, he was from Japan, and he had a number of classic calls where that became one of his pet calls for Matsui, Hideki Matsui. And that's exactly what he's talking about. So if we can find one real quick for you, Craig, we'll play it before we go out to break. But as baseball pitchers do walking off the field, tip of the cap for John Sterling. That's when, pitchers walk off the field and the fans are giving them a hand. That's the proper protocol that a pitcher tips their cap. So we tip our cap this morning to John Sterling, a legend in the broadcasting world. And whether you're a Yankee fan or not, his longevity, his uniqueness, and so many of the things that he represented for Yankee fans, including, of course, you heard it in that Bernie Williams, Yankees win, that whole thing, became a staple of, Yankee lore. And it is as much a part of Yankee lore as, I hate to say it, as the players are. My old colleague Bud Poliquin used to say, he never believed, and I think he still feels this way, today. Maybe I'll ask him in our interview with him tonight, because we're going to talk with Bud. We usually talk with Bud on Monday nights. Bud always said suits and guys with suits and ties don't belong in the Hall of Fame. The only ones that belong in the Hall of Fame are the players. Bud always believed that the Hall of Fame is just for the players, and it shouldn't be for announcers. It shouldn't be for front office people. I think a manager was okay, because managers do wear uniforms and they're in the dugouts. I think Bud's okay with managers being in the Hall of Fame, but he never loved the idea of suits and front office people and announcers being in the Hall of Fame. And I have a very good friend, Bob Wolf, God rest Bob's soul, is no longer with us, who I interned for down at News 12 on Long Island, who used to call Knick games many, many years ago. Bob Wolf also called Washington Senators games going back in the day. And Bob Wolf was a Ford Frick Award winner, and the Frick Award is given to a baseball announcer every year, and that announcer gets inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame through the Ford Frick thing. And there is a little area in the Hall of Fame where the Ford Frick Award winners are, and where you see all the names of these famous announcers, and Bob is one of them, I suppose primarily for his work with the Washington Senators all those years ago. So I don't think that Sterling is in the Hall of Fame. I'll have to double check that. But I would think that that at some point he should be in, regardless, again, whether you're a Yankee fan or not, whether you loved all the antics. He certainly still has a place in Yankee lore. And a lot of those calls, as superfluous as they were, are staples in people's minds. So good for you, Yankee fans, to celebrate, and you should celebrate the life of John Sterling. Good guy in this business. Any luck on Thriller by Godzilla Boy Green?
Yeah, I'm listening through clips. The quality of some of the ones I'm finding aren't good.
All right,
so.
Again, maybe for another day. But I did just want to at least have a small homage to John Sterling, who we just heard about this morning. All right, with that, very appropriate that we take a break here, and we'll come back. NBA playoffs on tap when we return. Right back. More of the Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital right after this.
Considering that we sleep nearly 1/3 of our lives, buying the right mattress is essential. At Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofa Outlet, you'll get a unique experience, one that saves you 30 to 70% off retail prices on top-of-the-line mattresses like Sapphire Sleep. At Box Drop, you'll schedule a mattress fitting appointment and get one-on-one service directly with Paul, the owner. No middleman. Family-owned, huge savings, no-pressure sales designed to save you time and money. And now Box Drop Syracuse has sectional sofas and love seats as well, with prices designed to fit your budget. Box Drop Syracuse Mattress and Sofas. Set up your appointment today at boxdropsyracuse.com.
Finding the right local roofing company can be tricky. You don't want to hire the wrong roofers, or you could end up spending a fortune on repairs. The pros at Northeast Roofing Professionals can ensure your home is protected by a strong and sturdy roof. Locally owned and operated, over 30 years experience, free estimates, and competitively priced. Don't settle for an inexperienced roofing contractor. Turn to Northeast Roofing Professionals. Discounts for military and first responders. Reach out and let them put a sturdy roof over your head. NERPCNY.com. NERPCNY.com.
All right, we're back. Manchild Show with Boy Green Digital at MC Show Digital. Welcome aboard, everybody. Thanks for those that are joining in late. You can always, again, go back and watch the entire show. As soon as we're done with the live show, it immediately posts on our YouTube channel.
On demand.
YouTube.com/at MC Show Digital. If you're not already a subscriber, we're at 888 subscribers out of this morning. I mean, that's kind of a wild number, 888. I kind of dig it.
That's true.
It's not quite 666, but it's 888. But
better
we're looking to get to 1000.
One
That's
day,
the
maybe.
number we're shooting for right now, and we're a little over 110 subscribers away. Please, if you're not a subscriber, it's absolutely free. We'd really appreciate you becoming a subscriber. And if you are a subscriber, memberships are available. And that leads me to our raffle. You see the scrolling ticker down there. We are in raffle month number 2, where you can get raffle tickets each month for our cool prizes. And we've got some awesome prizes this month. A double Jim Boeheim dose of posteritis here for our wonderful, wonderful raffle. And Boy Green, and we've got the 2 videos here.
Yes, I'm going to play
in the
them.
right order. So which one is the? Okay, that one's the first.
They
one.
are in the order that they're supposed to be.
All right,
now,
I think I can fire it here. I'll do it. All right. So
Okay.
here are the 2 posters, the 2 Jim Boeheim posters that we're giving away. There's one other item I'll show you in a second. Let's take a look at the 2 posters we're giving away. All right, and this is the first Jim Boeheim life-size poster. Again, tight shot of Boeheim, people on the bench. You got an official in the shot there. And like I said, it's made of this like nice vinyl material. So you can see it really, really well. I mean, it was hanging in the studio, so it's, not in perfect, pristine condition, but it absolutely looks awesome on a wall. Or someone could even take this thing and get it framed into a big frame and have it cut properly to fit a frame. So very cool item. I'll show you the second one in just a second. All right, and here's the second poster. This one is a close-up of Jim Boeheim, obviously in his suit and tie. Really, really nice quality. By the way, both of the posters roughly 46 inches wide by about 56 inches from top to bottom. So both in really nice shape. And again, both this vinyl. So it's a really, really, like, this is gonna, it's really, really durable. There are a few holes along the edges for where we had them tacked in the studio, but outside of that, they're really, really in good shape, especially this poster. Really nice. All right, so you got the 2 posters. I'm also throwing in a 12th MC show in a laser engraved pint glass, laser engraved on both sides. 12th MC, of course, is our membership first level. So I'm going to send that to you as well. So you get the 2
Tops
posters.
even better with the liquid in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it does look. Yeah, I'll put a beer in there one of these mornings when I'm in a drinking mood.
you
School's almost out. I got one more week of school, then I'll be celebrating.
Sure. There
like
you
this
go.
much
And you're
tomorrow.
home free.
My college students are getting ready to head for the summer, and so is the Manchild. The golf course awaits, and the beers await. So I can do some morning brewskis in future shows.
I'll tell you though, like, again, obviously my number 1 fandom is, of course, I don't know if you've noticed, is the New York Jets with all the gear and everything. I do dabble. If I was a Syracuse basketball diehard fan and I watch it, I've been media for it. I've been in the locker room for it. It's really cool. I enjoy watching it most of the time. Not recently, the last couple of seasons, but for the most part, I've enjoyed watching Syracuse basketball. If I was a super fan and I had a chance to get these vinyl material, which you showed and you could hear it too, is like, that's lasted forever. I would love to put that in my man cave, throw it back there and have it, and maybe one day even bring it to somewhere where you get Boeheim to sign it again. Because again, he mentioned, I think you mentioned in the video.
It is autographed. I didn't mention it in the video. The first one that we saw is autographed. It says, Bud, I'll be watching you, Jim Boeheim.
Which I love it.
Was Bud was my partner back then, and Boeheim was in the studio with me and Bud, and I asked him, could you autograph the poster? And that was what he autographed it with. I didn't ask him to do anything. He just wrote it. I'm not sure exactly what he meant there, but nonetheless, it is autographed by Jim Boeheim. And you can see the autograph on the poster, but you got to kind of look at it closely.
But you can get fresh, get it fresh, bring it to one of the events because he still does charity work, obviously.
Yeah,
bring it to one of those or something. But
again,
if you're a Syracuse fan, that's a cool thing to have in the man cave and cover a wall or something, or have some cool space. So it's like, no matter what, even though we're post Jim Boeheim and now we're in a third, we're in the Jerry McNamara era. We're in that now. It's still cool. He's a legend around here. He brought us our national championship in 2003. We'll have that forever.
And and the posters are 56 inches high by 45 inches wide. So that gives you a sense of how
that's crazy.
How big they are. So the pictures don't even do them justice. They will take up a good piece of a wall. I mean, they're really, really big.
Yeah, and in the right room, it may take up the entire wall. So it's it's incredible.
So very cool. And how do you get it? Well, you enter our raffle. $3 super chat will get you a ticket. Any increment of $3 going forward from that gets you an additional ticket, so on and so forth. So $6 will get you 2 tickets, $9 will get you 3 tickets. If you're not already a member of the 12th Manchild and you join our lowest level, which is $4.99 a month, you automatically get 2 tickets for doing that. And you can gift memberships as well. Every gifted membership, you'll get 2 tickets, just like you would if you were becoming a member yourself. If you reach 5 gifted memberships in any single purchase, we'll give you double the tickets. So instead of getting 10, we'll give you 20 raffle tickets. And as a matter of fact, if you look at our leaderboard, we have a few people on there. Number one Austrian Jets fan the other day in our live show on Wednesday bought 5 memberships. So he immediately jumped to the top of the tote board with 20 raffle tickets. All right. So that's the way it works. It's really simple. And we'll do it through the 22nd. And then that's when we do our drawing. And so during our live shows is the best time to purchase your tickets. And then we will automatically update the tote board and keep you abreast of where you stand with things. But we had T-Town Jet, who won last month's raffle. Man, he stuffed the ballot box on the last day.
Right.
He went crazy, stuffing a raffle box on the final day, and had a lot more tickets than he wants, like 4 times as many tickets as anyone else. And the randomizer, he had a pretty good chance of winning the randomizer.
That's for sure.
Down Jet, so he is off and running with a cool Dan Aykroyd autographed harmonica and case, and a very, very cool commemorative 2003 Sports Illustrated that has the Syracuse winning the national championship Carmelo Anthony picture on the front. And so that is on its way to T-Town Jet. But you can win this month's raffle. And again, easy to get tickets. So we urge you to support the channel in that way and have a chance to win something, which is pretty cool.
Let me break it down to one more level, because I know we were just talking about your radio milestones, Lurch, and all the things you accomplished. And we're in the digital world now, and a lot of people may have already been in the digital world and they just came over. Some people transitioned from the radio world to the digital world with us. Now they see us. So I want to explain it to another level, just in case some people don't understand. I want to assume. So if you're watching on YouTube and you see where you're commenting in, right next to the comment section, there's a money emoji. You can't miss it. It looks like a $.
It's like a dollar. It looks like a bill.
Yeah. And you click that, and then all these options pop up. Super stickers, super chats, gift channel memberships. This is what Lurch is talking about in terms of contributing to the show and getting raffle tickets where you have a chance to walk away with a prize piece of our history. It was in the radio booth. So we had all those crazy shows with Bud, Lurch, myself, all the other wonderful producers that were with us throughout the show's history, right? That's your opportunity. Every $3 you guys spend gives you a ticket to that raffle. And again, there's mile markers you can reach where you can get 20 raffle tickets and bonus raffle tickets. But again, $3 what you spend. If you hit the join button, so if you're watching on YouTube, so take a step back from the comment section. If you're just watching the show and you're looking at the box, there's a big join button on there. And I'll one of these days I'll inception share a screen of YouTube, but hopefully we don't get lost in the universe and you can see it. But there's a join button. That's how you can join our membership level. So it's super easy. If you've never been on YouTube before and you're only here because of us, no worries whatsoever. We're all inclusive to everybody, every different community, whether you're digital, radio, or anything. It's a cool new way to support the show and can get raffle tickets and again support all the cool stuff we're doing.
Yeah, I was just looking back. I'll find a couple, Boy Green. Maybe next live show on Wednesday we can show some pictures. But we've taken many, many pictures over the years in front of those posters.
Of course, right? Yeah.
So okay, I got one right here. Okay, so let me see. How do I grab it from Facebook and bring it over? All right, so I got this.
Well, you're going to share the screen, share your screen, Lurch. So we got that down on StreamYard. Third button over from the left is a present button. There's a share screen button. Click that, pick your Facebook tab, and boom, we're going to see it. Or save the photo and upload it as an ad image here on StreamYard.
That's what I was going to do. But let me share the screen. That's an interesting thing to do. Okay, so tell me how to do it again one more time.
So again, third button over from the left, you click that. There's a bunch of options that pop up, slides and PDFs, extra camera, all that. There's a share screen button. Click that. And then it's going to say, which screen do you want to share? And then you pick your Facebook page that apparently has this picture on it. You click that and boom, it should pop up down below. And then you should be able to bring it onto the screen.
All right. Yeah. Except my problem, and this is always what happens, right, in these situations, right? Nothing's ever working perfect. So I'm going to just have to say no right now, is I'm getting all these open system settings and crazy.
Oh, geez. Okay.
So
Max.
my whole stupid screen is dodging now. My stupid Google. Okay. Anyway, I won't be able to do that right now, but I'll get a picture for us next time, or I'll download it if I can later during the show.
Or screenshot it. So if you have a screenshot on your computer, screenshot the image, and then you can just present it as a screenshotted image.
All right. Anyway, but we've taken many, many pictures in front of those posters. So you get a sense of the size, right? You get a sense of the size of the posters when you see a person next to them. You see kind of how big they were, but they were lining the walls of our studio. So it is kind of a cool piece of history. They sat in our studio for at least 20 years somewhere in that neighborhood. I acquired them many, many years ago when I was actually at our original station that we were at for, I think, like the first like 7 years of our show before we switched
Wow.
stations. So that I acquired them there and then brought them with me, and then they just became, essentially, part of our life in that studio. So every day we walk in and there were those posters sitting on 2 of the walls. So pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so those are going out the door, both of those, and the laser engraved 12th MC glass. So you get all 3 items for next month's raffle winner. And again, it will be, or this month's raffle winner will be on the 22nd of May. All right.
All right,
so
Larch, I found a photo
right.
from in front of the thing here. I don't love this is the photo I chose, but this is me in a Cosmo outfit for Halloween. You can see how high those are, and I'm very short. So there you go. There's a version of it. I'm standing in front of it, but look how much of the wall it takes up.
Yeah.
So that is a massive, and yes, that is me as a Cosmo from the Fairly Odd Parents with a dyed green hair, a crown, and yes, those are wings behind me in a suit. So there you go. So yeah,
and scary wings on that day.
Yeah, that was the first one I found when I went to our Facebook page. I just started scrolling down. I'm like, there has to be a picture of us in front of it, and that was the first one I saw. I went, wow. Okay, well. That's it. So there you go. Here's another one where I'm looking at the camera. Lurch took this photo, so I'm going to give proper photo credit here that Manchild is the one. So here's another photo I can throw up here on the screen as we're operating multiple tabs here. Here you go. There you go with me and my wand. Yeah, there you go. Right in front of that thing with the lights on the crown. So there you go. There you go, Larch. I'm sure that's exactly the photo you were trying to bring up, too.
I noticed a little less gray in that beard those days. I mean, it's not.
Those days. Yeah, yep. A lot more gray now. A lot more gray now. It's probably from my Jets fandom or any of my other sports, for that matter, that brought me to that realm, which makes a lot of sense. And here we are. So, yeah.
You're going to eventually go for that salt and pepper look? Is that what you're looking for?
To me, everyone can do their own thing. I know there's Just for Gray for men and everything out there. Whatever the God says, what the God says. They're
just going on natural.
If they tell me if it ends up becoming like a salted look and I'm getting some gray and black in there, so be it. If it's just white and I'm Santa, I'm Santa. Okay. So whatever the gods allow is where I will go. Wow. It's up in the hands of the gods now.
Saying I hang around long enough, I could be doing shows with Santa Claus. Wow,
that's true. Yeah.
That would be fun around the holidays. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. I think it would make the selection process easier as you guys are like, who's going to be old jolly Saint Nick? Well, Paul again this year. All right. There you go.
All right. We got another 20 minutes to go in the show. So let me get to a couple other things that I want to get to. Okay. Sir. First of all, Kentucky Derby really quick. Okay. So Golden Tempo wins the Kentucky Derby, a 21-1 shot. So definitely not one of the favorites. Cool. A cool history that was made here is Sherry DeVoe, who is the trainer of Golden Tempo, is the first woman trainer ever to train a Kentucky Derby winning horse. Okay. I don't think there really are a ton of women trainers.
Yeah. Because can I ask you a stupid question, Lurch?
Go ahead.
Okay. Because you grew up with horse racing right in your backyard out there in Queens, Belmont. Right? You had, Belmont. Okay. So I saw this history and that's amazing. It's cool. I love history. I've got a daughter, so her seeing history like this is great. Because this is going to be a stupid question, I guess, but what's the difference between a female trainer and a male trainer in terms of the horse? Because Lurch, to explain this to people that may not watch horse racing, we're not talking about the jockey that was riding the horse. We're talking about the trainer that was doing stuff behind the scenes. Why is this the first one? Why haven't women been more involved? Or maybe there's something, maybe there's a key piece of this story that I'm missing of why women haven't been in it historically, or why a skill level thing that women wouldn't have had these opportunities to be in these positions. Because we talk about that in the NFL with assistant coaches not getting proper opportunities. So it's hard to get the job without the experience. You can't have the experience without the job, sort of thing. So what piece am I missing? In terms of male versus female?
It's a good question. Okay. And the simplest answer is that horse racing has for hundreds of years been dominated by men.
Oh, okay.
That men controlled it, that men were operating it, that men were, it was, call it the good old boys network, how it is that way in some sects of society, in certain areas of our world where, you just have a small group controlling something, and then they just maintain control. And they don't let other people in. It's like the club. You can't get in the club. Can't get in
I
the
see.
club.
Okay, that makes
You
sense.
can only get invited in the club. So I think for a long time that was the case. There is absolutely no reason why a woman can't train a horse as well as a man can train a horse. So bravo to Sherry. Maybe Sherry having this landmark
Opens
victory
doors.
opens doors for other women who love horses, who would love to be
Cool.
horse trainers, saying, hey, we got somebody that just won a Kentucky Derby that was a woman. I can do it too. And maybe this opens the doors
Cool. Great.
a
Great.
bit. It certainly should at least open them a crack, if not, halfway.
Sure.
And so a lot of times it is inspirational stories like this that get a high amount of publicity, that essentially get, bring attention to it. And then there are people that never dreamed of doing that because they never saw it as a path. And now they see it as a path because someone has gone out there and trailblazed, right? This is the way
Right.
things happen in life, with areas. We've seen it a lot in sports. Okay. African Americans in baseball and Jackie
Sure.
Robinson breaking that color barrier and how it opened. So, you know what I mean? So you need somebody to allow the door to open, and then you need somebody to go out there and have great success. So she's a great success story, obviously. And hopefully it'll open doors. But no, to answer your question, to be honest with you, when I heard it, I was, when they were doing the pre-race and they were talking about it, I was like, wow, a woman trainer has never won the Derby. And then again, my mind started to spin. Why would that be? And the answer, the primary answer, is good old boys
see.
network. That's really
Okay.
that's
Okay.
really the primary answer.
Well, good for her then. Like, I'm not trying to denigrate the story at all. I just, like, my own mind, I was like, wow, like, is there something I'm missing on male
Absolutely
versus
not.
female? Like, why wouldn't they? Like, so great, good. Let's hope she's the first one, not the last one. Like,
Correct.
let's hope that's a new thing. Great, phenomenal.
I think it's cool, and shouldn't just the best trainers be doing it, and not whether they're male, female, or whatever, and so no, I think hopefully it will be good. And there are, and you mentioned jockeys earlier. There are some tremendous female jockeys that have done amazing things in horse racing as well. But again, there aren't that many of them. They're kind of few and far between. The why, I don't know. I guess you'd have to, there'd have to be some kind of, vetting here to better understand that. Obviously, jockeying is different because of the physical skills and the physical rules.
Yeah,
but again,
right.
I don't see a world for riding a horse in that fashion that would be detrimental to have a woman on the horse versus a man.
Right.
I mean, we're not talking about weightlifting, where you
right.
And the one who lifts the most weight. I mean, men just physically, have some traits we were given.
Are built that way. But obviously there's some women that supersede that, right? Like there's small guys and big women.
Of course,
that can,
no doubt. So people can break through these barriers. So Sherry's a pioneer, and I think it's awesome.
Good for her.
It was really fascinating. Gosh, her name's escaping me right now, and I'm so embarrassed that I don't know her name. But there's a woman who's been involved. Yesterday was her last broadcast on NBC, and she's that woman. Her name's going to come to me in a minute. She's the woman who, at the end of the race, interviews the winning jockey. All right, and she pulls right up. So maybe you can look it up real quick. She retired. Yesterday was her last Derby. Okay, and she's been doing it forever. She's like the voice of the post, and I think she does it for all the Triple Crown races. But
Donna Brothers?
Donna, yeah, that's it. Donna Brothers. Okay. So Donna, who's been a fixture in horse racing, and her claim to fame. I know she's done other things in horse racing too.
Yeah.
I think she might have even done some jockeying in when she was younger. She's up there now. But Donna, one of her famous things was that she's done for years is she interviews the jockey after they cross the finish line as they're on the horse still walking back. What was it like? Tell us about it, right? So she did that yesterday for the final time at the Kentucky Derby. She's retiring. Okay.
She's 60. Yeah,
I was going to say she's got to be in her 60s probably. And you would recognize her voice for sure if you've ever watched Triple Crown races. You would recognize.
She is a former jockey. I'm reading it here. Yeah. She won over 1,100 horse races and then now covers it. Her name is Donna Barton Brothers.
Yeah, so Donna Brothers. And Donna retired yesterday. And Donna, they do, how they do all the pre-race picks and everybody picks a horse and they go around. Mike Tirico picks someone and this person, they do all the experts. Eddie Olczyk was out there. He picked one, the former hockey star. All these people that are covering the Derby, and they have, dozens of them. And they're all, here's who I got, here's who I got. And only one person in that whole crowd, Donna Brothers, picked Golden Tempo. And she said it on air. I'm picking Golden Tempo because I want to see history made today for women. And I believe in this woman. I believe what she's done. And I hope that Sherry DeVoe becomes the first. So, so Donna, a female representative in horse racing. Again, not so, somewhat rare. All right. Stands behind, womanhood here and says, I'm going to take that. She's the only one that picked.
So, quick question. Is that how she was able to retire? She put all her money and then that ended up winning, and she's like, God bless. I'm done. See ya.
She placed a few bets on top of picking it on the air and just telling us who she thought was going to win.
Call your shot.
Yeah.
Hey, Donna, respect. Okay. All right.
22-1, Boy Green,
That's good money.
You put a couple grand down and you're walking away, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So that's not bad. So anyway, but it was a great race. And aside from the Sherry DeVoe, and the 22-1 horse winning the Derby, the other really cool thing, and if you go back and watch videotape of the Derby, and I really advise if you didn't see the race to do so, Golden Tempo was in dead last at the start of the race. Dead last. Now, the Derby is normally a field of 20 horses. Because of the scratches, it ended up only being a field of 19. Not that that's much less. It's one horse less. 19 horses in the field. And it is incredibly difficult to go from last place to first place because you have to weave around all these horses and the mud is kicking up and these are the best of the best. I mean, these are the best 3-year-olds out there that get entrance into the Kentucky Derby. And so this horse, who was not the favorite at all, chased down 18 other horses and picked them off one by one, and then finally in the home stretch, going out very wide, wins the race. And the jockey that was on the race is the brother of the jockey who's been having the best year and won the Jockey Gold Cup or whatever it's called, the big trophy that the jockeys get for being the best jockey of the year. I think he's won that the last 2 years. And his brother, the two of them finished 1-2 right alongside each other. And if you go watch the replay of the race after they crossed the finish line, you'll see the brother who lost kind of tap the brother, because they're right next to each other, tap the brother on the back, to kind of say, congratulations, it's not going to be my day. Let it be your day. Really, really cool moment, too. So there's just a lot of cool moments in this Derby. Of course, I sucked as usual. I think I bet 4 different horses, and, Renegade finished second, and that was the one that the brother was on. So I guess I was up there, but I always pick them to win anyway. I don't pick them to place or to show. I don't do combos. I just want to pick the winning horse in the Derby.
Yeah.
And Renegade was among the favorites, so I wasn't going to win a lot of money anyway. But, boy, 22-1, that's not bad. Put a couple bucks down on that. It's a nice payday.
By the way, speaking of Renegade, just a last NFL draft story here is, I know that's the Steelers' song of choice, but did they have 1,000 draft picks in the draft? I mean, every time the Steelers are on Renegade, I'm like, again? And oh my God, the over/under on how many times Renegade was played at the draft. Good Lord, have mercy. I mean, salute. That was
yeah. So there you have it. Anyway, so that's that. Kentucky Derby, exciting. If you didn't see the race, by all means, please go check it out. All right. And that's just an awesome, it's always an awesome event. I am yet to go to the Derby in person. It's on my bucket list right now. Masters and the Derby are at the very top. So I'll have to squeeze one of those in one of these days and get to a Kentucky Derby. It's a real spectacle. One other final thing on the Derby here. I don't know if you saw Jackson Dart, the Giants quarterback, was at the Derby along with a lot of other celebrities. And let me throw up the picture here of Jackson and his lovely lady right there. So look at Jackson Dart, huh?
Jackson, that's quite a look. And then
striped white suit. You can't even see he's got a ribbon on that fedora-like hat. I don't know if that's considered a fedora or what style of hat, but it's almost fedora-like. Yeah. And he's got a navy blue ribbon that goes around the base of that hat that you can't see well in that picture. But it was sharp. Very sharp.
That's her hat? That's not like part of his ensemble?
Yeah, her hat is dangling there on the side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Some of the women's hats, they kind of dangle like that.
Okay. So, a little mint julep action maybe off camera. Okay. All right.
And what's her name again? So we can get her name. That's his girlfriend, Marissa Ayers.
Beautiful.
Right? That's next to him. And so, Dart with the pinstripe suit, the black button-down shirt, the white hat. Ayers with the blue dress.
Quite a look.
White and black fascinator, they call that, Boy Green. That had a fascinator. Wow. All right. So you see all kinds of wild hats at the Derby. Hats are a big thing. And Ayers, who I guess is big on social media, not a surprise, posted also a video, if you want to go check it out on TikTok, of her and Jackson Dart in in complimentary pink outfits on Derby Day. So I guess they decided to go with the whites here, but maybe they were considering the pinks
later or something.
But the pinks are pretty cool too. And Dart comes out and does a little spin around, and she's wearing a beautiful pink dress. So you want to go check that out on TikTok as well. But apparently 2 outfits out there for Kentucky Derby Day. But this was the one that I saw him in while I was
very striking. Yeah, this is very nice. And by the way, let's give a shout out to the 1977 T-Man with the $2 Euro super chat. Manchild Boy Green are numero uno. That's a language I can understand. Yes.
T-Man.
Which, by the way, for those who don't know the conversion rates, that's $3 American. So there you go. Okay.
All right, we'll give a chime here.
Sure, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah for a super chat. Appreciate that.
It's terrific.
Right.
Thank you.
We'll get him in there. He's $1 short of getting a raffle ticket, but I'll put him in for a raffle.
It's not, Lurch. This is $2 Euro. It translates to over $3 American.
Oh, it's Euro. Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, you can see it there in the front.
Yes, I see it. T-Man going Euro. Oh, I love it.
So it does actually surpass $3. So
I love it. All right. The 1977 T-Man, and I would have put him in the raffle anyway, but he's in. All right.
Okay. And there you go, Lurch. See, you were willing to do the right thing, even though you thought that it wasn't enough. So the fact that it was enough, look, credit to you, Lurch. Extra bonus points. So thank you, the 1977 T-Man.
I love our fans. Thank you, T-Man.
Okay.
My favorite Seinfeld nickname episode is T-Bone. T-Bone.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say the Drakes. Okay.
No, George wants to be called T-Bone, but then they end up calling the other.
I love that. That's a great bit.
For the T-Bone steak. That's a funny episode with Mr. Kruger. Mr. Kruger is one of the great bosses inside. There's some good ones. Peterman's a great boss. Kruger's a great boss. Who's the guy with the muffin? Why am I forgetting his name? Elaine's boss with the muffin.
Oh, yes.
Muffin Top Shop. Oh, my goodness. He's really good, too. So there are some great boss characters in Seinfeld over the years. And Mr. Kruger is a classic, though. He's just a complete boob.
Mr. Littman.
Mr. Littman. Yeah, I like Littman, too. He's pretty good, too. He's hilarious as
well. He eventually becomes the muffin boss. So there's a lot of I love man.
They bring him back. They bring him back, and things happen to them. But if you go back, I was just watching one of the early seasons a couple of nights ago, where George tells off his boss, and then he tries to just go back to work like it never happened because he doesn't realize he's quit his job. He quits his job for no reason. You know, he goes and completely unloads on his boss in his office. And goes, "I quit." Walks out. And then goes home and starts talking to Jerry and realizes he doesn't really have any skills. And why did he quit his job? And then Jerry says, "Why don't you just go back? Just go back.
Just pretend, right?
Pretend it didn't happen." And so George does that. And then he tries to give his boss a Mickey.
Yeah.
tries to poison his drink. Spike his drink. And then the guy's having such a good time with Elaine. He decides, "George, you know what? It's all under the bridge. We'll bring you back." And he's toasting with the Mickey in his glass. And George is like, "No."
That's a great. By the way, the T-Man says, "I also accept He-Man," which, by the way, a new movie, a new version of He-Man is coming out in the movie theaters. I don't know when. Gator, I know, is a huge He-Man fan out there in the audience. So T-Man or He-Man. Okay, I appreciate there's different nicknames accepted here. Great.
Very, very nice. All right, so that's it on the Derby, but just some cool things on the Derby. And let's just shift. Final topic of the day, Boy Green today: NBA playoffs. Okay, I'll let you wax a little poetic if there's any poetry left in you. I will say this before you talk about your Celtics and their demise here and starting a series 3-1 up, losing 2 games on your home floor to lose to a team like the Sixers, who I don't particularly like either. But to make matters worse, as the world of today is, so many podcasts out there, so many places to speak. Jaylen Brown went on a podcast and essentially railed about bad refereeing and the flopping of Joel Embiid. And all I'll say is Brown is not a guy who typically talks a lot, but this was bad. Bad because it just, no matter what, it just feels like crying, man. It's just like, it's kind of baby-esque. So Jaylen Brown, not, in my opinion, putting himself in a good spot here by essentially, complaining about referees and flopping, even if it's true. Like that's the worst timing is your team just goes out after losing a 3-1 and now you're going to go complain about the refs. Like, complain about it during the series, try and get the refs' attention. We see that all the time. That's posturing, all right? Yeah. But to do it after the series is over and say, he's a flopper and those refs, they had an agenda. I mean, that's basically what he said. It's kind of like, crying, spilt milk. What's the cliche, right?
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on the Celtics' demise, Boy Green. What happened here? I mean, obviously unfortunate that Tatum couldn't play the last couple of
Right.
games. You know, they're not going to
Game
take a chance.
7, yeah, in
Maybe he
particular,
never
right.
should have come back to begin with, but, you know, they
I
wanted
don't
a run. We could get into that, but give me your
Right.
thoughts on the demise of the Celtics here. I guess it wasn't meant to be, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah, and especially in Game 7 when he was ruled out a few hours before tip-off, they said his injury was a knee, so it wasn't even a calf, is what they said. So, to me, there were 2 moments, Lurch, in Game 7. There's about 2.5 minutes to go. The game is in the balance. The Celtics are down 1. They find Peyton Pritchard in the corner for a wide open 3. He takes his time.
So, and had it. It was. I saw that. I was like, oh man, how did he miss that? That was terrible.
Fast break, kick it out to Peyton Pritchard. He's wide open. He takes a second, fires it. You hit that 3. Celtics are up 2, and the place, the lid, it's bubbling. Lurch, you've been to playoff games before.
No doubt.
In the balance, it's just one play, and then this is going to send this thing over the top. And likely, the Celtics are hosting the Knicks in the first round of the next round of that playoff series. Peyton Pritchard misses it. Another opportunity. They swing it around. Jaylen Brown, top of the key, wide open 3. He cashes it in. Celtics up 3. Okay, here we go. Both of those miss. They're open shots. And I think Scott Van Pelt did the math or something. In the losses, the Celtics are like 49 and 109 or something to the misses. Like it was worse than that number I just gave. It was worse. It was like either 49 or 39 to 129. Like they just missed. They just kept trying to shoot out of it. And there were opportunities on one of those fast breaks. If you get it to Keita dunks it and you go up 1 instead of going up 2.
Correct.
Would have been on the 3. So like they didn't feed it fast enough with Embiid trailing on defense. So yeah, there's just so many opportunities. The Celtics blew it. It's disgusting. You have a 3-1 lead. That is supposed to be an insurmountable lead. I'm going to be candid. I overlooked the 76ers. I already was ready for the next second round series. I didn't think about the 76ers. Obviously, the series changed when Embiid came into the picture. And the Celtics didn't adjust, and they just assumed that they were all going to figure it out. They didn't. So that's terrible. Celtics lose. It's embarrassing. The Celtics had not lost to the 76ers in a playoff series since 1982. Look, it's 2026.
Yeah.
My entire life and predating my life, the Celtics had dominated the 76ers in the playoffs. So it's incredibly disappointing. It's unfortunate. And speaking of a 3-1 blown lead, Lurch, Orlando had Detroit, the number 1 seed. They had them on the ropes, 3-1 lead, and they blow it. I just saw this morning Orlando fired their head coach. And to be that close to like, that's as great of an upset as you could get. An 8-1, and they had Detroit against the ropes, and for Detroit to fight all the way back.
No.
Credit to, we talk about this all the time. Did you blow it or did the other team seize it? Maybe it's a little bit of both, but for Detroit to come back like that and keep their playoff hopes alive in that very unique way is interesting. So yeah, Orlando blows it. They blow the 3-1. I love all the game 7s. I mean, that's drama. Come on. You want
three game 7s, 3.
And the Celtics 76ers one came all the way down to the end. The 76ers only really pulled away. Like when you saw about 90 seconds left, you're like, wow.
Score's not indicative. It's not.
Yeah, right. No, not indicative. I don't even remember what the final score was. What was it here on Saturday night? So let me see.
Oh, you won by like 7 or something like that. It's not.
Yeah, they ended up winning by 9. It was not like if you see that box score after, you're like, oh wow, 76ers took care of business. No. 2 minutes left. It was a 1-point game, and then the Celtics kept chucking up threes, and they should have just taken the opportunity in the paint. And then it grows larger than it was. Yeah, the game was in the balance. That's what you want in Game 7. So, yeah. And then Cleveland escapes the bullet dodge of Cleveland. Now, not as dramatic as a 1-8 or a 2-7 or anything, but yeah, they survived the other one. So, man, some great drama. I mean, NBA loves Game 7s. They get Game 7s. And now, Lurch, I say this to you. I know the Pistons ended up surviving, but they're fugazi. They're fake. Throw them on the other side. This is your best chance. With all due respect to the 76ers, the Celtics gave a much bigger challenge to the Knicks in the next round, if that's who they faced. And the 76ers did win this first round. We'll see what happens. But like, if you can at least make it to the finals, which was what the line is after firing Thibodeau, you have to make it further than you did the previous year. Eastern Conference Finals is not enough. The Knicks have the shot to get to the finals, and then you get to the finals. Who knows what's going to happen? Let's play it out and see what team survives. A lot of people assume it's going to be Thunder. Maybe it's Spurs. I don't know what's going to happen, but get to the finals and let's see what happens. That's progress. So last year, you have the best chance to win a championship since '73, Large.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for it to be the Spurs instead of the Thunder if indeed the Knicks were to get there, just because I don't know, just they just looked better against the Spurs, and still Wembanyama
Wembanyama, how do you
is
defend that?
really
I don't
is
know. That's
really
tough. Yeah,
but they have Robinson, who really defends everyone well. He's not as big as Wemby, obviously, but he
of
moves
course.
very well, so that could help. And the Knicks looked good against the Spurs during the regular season. I forget what they did if they were 2-0 against them, but I know they beat them at least once. They don't play very often. I think they only
Right.
play twice. But bottom line is they just looked like a team, and the Spurs are very inexperienced. Whereas the Thunder are coming off a championship, there's a little more experience in that tank. They're still a young team, but having won one, they'll know what to expect, where the Spurs might not. So I would love to see the Spurs upend them, and the Spurs are a tough matchup for anyone. So let's see if it goes there. Certainly, everything in the West has been kind of very, very chalkish. I don't give the Lakers much of a chance against OKC. Everybody has the Spurs winning. I was looking at all the predictions. I do like 10 of the writers, and they all predict. And it was
Yeah.
for the two Western series, it was 10-0, 10-0. Nobody picked the other side to win, and a lot of them were in 5. It's like,
Yeah.
5 or 6. Nobody was even pushing it out 7. And you look at the East matchups, everything's in 7, and it's a lot more split in terms of at least some writers out there, some people who
Right.
cover these teams saying, no, I could see a world where the Sixers win. I could see a world where the Cavs win. I could see a
Yeah.
world, so there seem to be some
But
very
the minority, clearly.
definitely. Yes, definitely. And I agree with you. Now that the Celtics have gone out, this is the Knicks' chance to win. This is their best chance to win the East in a long, long, long time.
100%.
And they got to get the job done. They just got to get the job done. The thing that worries me, I think they'll beat the Sixers. And again, you don't overlook
I do
anybody
too.
in the playoffs, but I think they'll beat the Sixers. My concern is if the Pistons, they didn't look good in this first round series, even though they ended up winning it. If the Pistons get their act together a bit, they were extremely problematic for the Knicks during the regular season. They just didn't seem to have anybody that could really guard Cade Cunningham respectably at all. And even some of the other role players were problematic for some of these Knick defenders. Sometimes the playoffs is about matchups.
Sure.
But I would still like to believe that inexperience and the lack of, besides Cade Cunningham, who else is really going to step up with this team night in and night out, is going to be problematic for the Pistons, whether it's in this series against the Cavs or whether it's against the Knicks. I just think I agree with you. I think there is a fugaziness to them here. There is a phoniness to them here that is going to get exposed, against the right team in the right situation in the playoffs. So I don't disagree with you. So this is, like you said, I don't disagree with anything you said. This is a phenomenal chance here for the Knicks to get
It's a chance. It's not guarantee. It's not nothing.
Right.
It's just a chance. But hell, like if I could have told you, ESPN 30 for 30 music, someone cued the piano in the background. What if I told you that the Knicks would not play the Celtics, that the Knicks would face this on the other side, and the Knicks would have this, and the Knicks would have this, and the Knicks would have this? You would have taken that. And now here we are. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. Just I don't want to go back too much here. There's just a couple of things that came up in the comments. Brother Yeti, who we haven't heard from in a while, he said, "Is Vernon Downs still kicking?" The answer to that is yes. Vernon Downs is still
Okay,
kicking.
good
It's
to
a
know.
racetrack
Yeah.
that's not too far away from here.
Yep.
They do a lot of the the machine betting now there, the automated betting there.
Oh,
now.
okay.
So that's kind of cool. And then he came back, Brother Yeti came back with, guys, I can't super chat on my iPhone. I'm moving back upstate to Lafayette. Is that a question?
Oh, yes.
Statement?
Yes.
What's he saying there? I'm the guy that played Adonal Foyle in high school. How close
Yes.
are you guys?
Yes.
So you
How
understand?
close are we together? It's 45 minutes. I live in Oswego.
Yeah.
He lives in
I'm in Liverpool, and Paul's in
Liverpool.
Oswego.
And we used to do the radio station in Syracuse, so it was all super close
Right.
together there. I love that story. I remember you telling it, Brother Yeti.
Yes. Yep.
Some people, unfortunately, have that iPhone, Apple issue or things of that nature. So hopefully, however you can contribute, Brother Yeti, we appreciate it. If you do have issues, I'm working with Manchild to get a PayPal Venmo option available.
We're going to get that as an option. Yep.
So the cool thing is that avoids the YouTube penalties. That's nothing for you. It's more an us thing of getting the money to us, and it makes it simpler. And what you'll be able to do is, once we have that account set up, is you can describe in the message, hey, this is for the raffle. Thanks. Love you. Go Manchild, go Boy Green, whatever you want to do. So we will have that set up here in the near future. Give you guys another path for people that have iPhones or certain phone setups that they can't. So we'll definitely make sure we go through.
Yeah, but I remember him. He played with Donald Foyle at
That's so
at
cool.
Colgate, so that was a
It's a great
that's a
story.
really cool, really
And
cool.
he says, thanks for reading the comments. Of course, we try to make sure if we don't do it live in the moment that we come back later. So 1,000%. We try to work it in where we can in the middle of the show.
So appreciate that very much. So, all right, the 3-game sevens are over. So the Pistons move on. Ugh. The Sixers get by the Celtics. Yick. And the Cavs finish off the Raptors. I don't know. A lot of people didn't have the Raptors being a big problem for the Cavs, but they were.
Yeah,
I don't know.
4-7.
That James Harden Mitchell combo is something just
It's weird.
stinky about it. I don't like
know.
it. I just don't like I like the Cavs better before they brought Harden in. I like them better with Darius Garland. I thought they were a better team with him, and I thought he fit the team better.
I just guess his injury issues. I guess they wanted to hit the eject button, which it's hard to blame them for.
They're hitting the eject button for an old man who's
That's also true. So it's all in. So that means the window's clear. You got to win now. And can
the guy who plays no defense. Harden just can't defend anything anymore. He can't defend
anymore. So, I don't know when he ever could.
Yeah, he never was a defender, but now he's really not a good defender. So anyway, but that's what we've got, and so we're down to 8, and we'll see who comes out of this 8. But certainly, some small surprises. The West pretty chalky, and we'll see what happens. NBA playoffs are fascinating. They're physical.
Yes, of course.
The refereeing is always interesting. How physical are the refs going to let these guys get, so on and so forth.
Well, you will love this, Lurch. When we get to the right, the first round, like Sean Devaney joked, we have our NBA Insider on every week from Heavy Sports. And he said, oh, man, I can't wait for the playoffs to wrap up before like December. And he's making a joke because like they stretch these things out all the way all over the place. In the second round, it's every other night. So all of a sudden we're picking up. It's still long. It still takes 2 weeks to finish a 7-game series if that's what they do to get that every other day thing. But now you get it. At least the pace picks up a little bit. It switches back once we get to the finals. We start having these long breaks in between things as they milk this thing. But still, nonetheless, that'll make it a little better. And I see this in here, Lurch. This is a thing to marinate. It is a reminder. I have meant to tell you, like after every live show we do, we go off the air, and then I meant to tell you this, but like it keeps disappearing. So I see Jamie's brought it up a few times. We do have a spot open. We have not talked about this publicly. A spot is opened in our Champs League. A situation has presented itself. This happens every once in a while. So we have 11. We need 12. I'm not necessarily advocating for anyone in our audience to rush for it because normally we don't pick people off the street to fill a Champs League hole. That's our live championship draft. But we do have some housekeeping here, Lurch. We got to find out who is going to fill that final spot. We have a lot of decision making to clear up on that.
Yeah, I think there are a small handful of candidates.
Yeah.
And we'll have to talk about this off air. I don't want to.
No. We don't have to do it. I'm just saying to answer Jamie's thing. He's a Hall of Fame member. I want to answer his comments when he puts them on here. But that is something we got to figure out ASAP because I want to give that person time to be ready for that live fantasy draft. So, Jamie, seen, heard, and pondering. Yes. Yeah, there is a spot that opened up. Yes.
Yeah, I've got some ideas, so we shall discuss, and we'll come to the best possible
best for business. We'll keep you in the loop. But Jamie, appreciate you bringing that up. Thank you.
it wouldn't be Jamie if he didn't, if he wasn't completely and utterly on top of our leagues and everything that's going on there, particularly the Champs League. Yeah. I mean, I talked to Jamie recently, and I was saying I'm still really kind of, I don't know. I'm like still in a fog that I won the fantasy league. Like it's like a blur. I don't even remember like how it happened. What happened exactly.
I'm never gonna forget it. So that
you'll never forget it. I know. Unfortunately we faced now twice in the championship, and I've beaten you both times. That's not a good feeling. And the great thing about this for me, the greatest thing about this for me, coming into this offseason, regardless of how I won, why I won, who knows, the stars were just aligned or whatever. Sometimes that's just the way it is, is that I'm back on top now, that I have 3 championships and you only have 2. So that's, I had that 2-1 for a while, and I really liked that. And then you tied me up.
Caught up.
No, now, not only is he caught up, but if he wins the next one, he's the champ of the champs. Ooh, I can't deal with that every day.
Because I think in 9 years I've been to 5 of the championship games, but I've lost 3 of them. That I've lost now more than I've won championships. So I don't love that at all. So that's not a good place to be.
Yeah. And I've only been to 3, but I've won 3. So that's
you're batting 1,000. That's a pretty good. It's pretty good.
That streak's bound to
Like,
come
come
to
on.
an end.
Like, people in the audience, which would you rather have? You go to 3, you win 3. You go to 5, you win 2. Now it's cool to go like to even be in the championship game over half of the time that we've been doing this league. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But I don't pat myself on the back for pretty good. There's no ribbon. There's no banner for, wow, he almost possibly could have. It's one plaque, a winner, and the other 11 are losers. So that's it.
So anybody in the comments, anybody that's listening right now, jump in the comments. Would you rather be 3 trips, 3 wins, or 5 trips, 2 wins in your fantasy league to the finals, to the championship? Rather have been there 5 and won 2? Would you have rather only been there 3 but won all 3 times? Which one would you prefer?
Come on, Manchild. It's clear. You would pick all 3, right? Yes, you should.
Yeah, 3 for 3 is that's pretty good. That thing's
and Michael Jordan right now. I mean, it's great. It's phenomenal.
And I had that weird thing. Remember, I was talking about like the San Francisco Giants and what was it?
Every other year. Yes. Yeah.
I have this weird thing that I've won the league every 4th year. So I won it the very first year, and I won it the 5th year.
2017, 2021, 2025.
So I've
done. Brother, yeah, he's taking 5 and 2. Let's go. See, it shows my greatness. I've been to the championship so many times. So there you go. Right. I think it would be, at least I have 2. Like I could have gone 5 and lost all of them. It could be a Buffalo Bills right now, but I'm not. See, I've won a few, won a handful. But I will tell you this time around, like the last time I was whatever confident. I'm confident because I'm a confident person. But this one, I had cruel intentions. I had a crowbar in my hand. I was ready to beat it over Manchild's head and limp body, and I lost. So that made it even more, more of a It made it even more difficult.
That would have been for me if I had lost. And it all came down pretty much, folks, to one player. You talk about, things that come down to one thing, one break you need, somebody's got to step up. Luther Burden III shall never be forgotten in the lores of Manchild fantasy history.
Or mine.
Luther Burden III, who I picked up, 3 weeks before the championship, something like that. My receiving room was a disaster. Everybody was getting hurt. I was like, who's out there? Who's out there? Picked up Luther, played him at least one of the 2 or 3 weeks that I had him. He did okay, kind of what you expect. And I was like, I really don't have any choices here. I mean, Luther's a starter. They were a little banged up. Their receiving core in Chicago was a little banged up. I was like, Luther's the man. Hopefully they throw it a lot to him. And man, he had an epic day. Luther Burden coming through huge. I don't remember how many points he got me, but I think it was in the 20s.
Over 30.
Was over 30 points. Oh my God.
And again, this goes to show you, right?
I ever meet that dude, like I'm getting his autograph.
Buy him a beer or something.
Hugging him. Yeah, I'm hugging him.
But
or something.
like, you look at the projections. I remember having like 3 number 1 wide receivers, and I'm like, oh, this is the area I just crush him. Like in the pre, you're like looking quarterbacks to this, wide receivers to this, running backs to this, tight. And I'm like, yes, this is where I gotta butter my bread. I have to dominate, not just dominate at this position, and that leads to victory. And I didn't, and I lost. So Luther Blankenburden.
It's funny though. The victories are great, and certainly have some nice memories of the victories. The one that me and you faced off the first time, where my team just went bananas. That's you can never forget that one. Yeah. But it's sometimes it's the defeats you remember the most.
100%.
And I'll never forget the defeat. I don't think I would have won the league that year, and I think this was. I'm pretty sure if I remember right. I mean, the great historian would remember this way better than me. But you and I faced. I think it was in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when I had the major quarterback issues, where my starter went down and my backup went down, and I literally was hitting the waiver wires, hours before the matchup on Sunday to plug in one of the scrubs that were out there. And the scrubs included Joe Flacco, all right, who was playing for the Browns right at that point, I think, or was
Bengals?
Bengals.
No, wait, no. Not Browns. No, not Browns.
Not the Browns.
Where would he have been playing? Broncos, I think, maybe.
Broncos, right? Yeah, you might be right. So Flacco, who was starting a game for the Broncos.
Ooh, I know. I can find. I can confirm because I know what game Zach Wilson played. So let me do some research. Keep talking.
So it came down to, folks, starting Joe Flacco or starting Zach Wilson. Like that was the best of the best on the waiver wire that week that I could plug and play a guy. So I scooped them both up and then was just sitting in front of my computer hours before going, which guy do I play? Which guy do I play? Yeah. The rest of my team was pretty solid, but I just needed
Oh,
to
you were
get
right. It was Browns. It was
oh,
Browns.
it was
There
the
you go.
Browns. Okay, so it was Flacco starting for the Browns, and then Zach Wilson at the time starting for the Jets. And I forget all the circumstances. I mean, Wilson had played, I think, well against whoever the Jets were playing that week earlier in the year. The circumstances were lining up that, hey, Wilson could, he could do something here. And I didn't like Flacco's matchup as much, but Flacco had a couple of decent weeks leading up to that. And I was just like, am I going to take this old man? He could get hurt in the first quarter. I could get nothing out of him. At least Zach Wilson can run for his life and, rush for 30 yards on a play, so I just kept going back and forth. And the deciding factor was that, how cool it would be if I could knock Boy Green out with his own guy, that I could use the Jet quarterback to take him out. So I allowed my personal kind of, that machismo, that little thing, that nugget of convincing yourself that this is the right move, not statistically, not based on the numbers, but based on feeling alone, how sweet it would be if Zach Wilson goes out there and has a stellar game, and that's Boy Green's downfall, and I knock him out of the playoffs. And so I end up going with Zach Wilson. And he had a miserable game. All right.
I have it here. I brought up his box score.
Flacco, I would have won. And if but by taking Wilson, that's what caused me to lose. And then Boy Green went on to win the championship that year. So I would have knocked him out and stolen another championship away from him. Forget about me winning the championship. I could care less. The fact that I would have knocked him out and he'd only have one title right now, and I'd have three.
Yes.
So right on my heels, two. Oof.
Thank you, Manchild. It goes to show you that it doesn't matter what kind of team you put together. Any given week, you could be taken out. Your team could just not perform. But here it was. That game, the Dolphins won 30-0. Zach Wilson went 4 of 11, 26 passing yards.
Oh my God.
He was sacked 4 times, lost 37 yards of sack yardage, and he fumbled. And that was Zach Wilson. And he got concussed and was out of the game, and Trevor Siemian came in, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God. Because again, these conflicting feelings. I want the Jets to win. And then when that happened, I'm like, oh my goodness, terrific. And I won 76-72 or something.
Right. It was a pillow fight. And if I just not played anybody, I mean, Zach Wilson actually, I think, had negative points.
He did. Yeah.
So if I had literally played anybody but him, or even just started nobody, left a spot blank, I would have beat Boy Green. But instead, I started Zach Wilson, lost points. He went negative on me in the quarterback position. And if I take a Joe Flacco, I would have won by 10 points.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Craziest thing. So,
and I won the
you never know. Fantasy's crazy. It's circumstances. That's why I say I'll never forget Zach Wilson and that horrible performance and not selecting Joe Flacco. I'll never forget picking up Luther Burden and putting him in there with confidence. And I really did. I had no choices. It wasn't like I had other. I was like, Luther's my guy. There's no way I'm not.
You convinced yourself. You're like, come on, Luther.
I'm not going out to the wire and doing that kooky stuff like I did last time with Zach Wilson. Luther's my guy. He's starting for the Bears. Go out there and get me a game, Luther. That's what I need from you. And Luther went out there and had himself a day. Best day he's ever had as a pro, and that helped me win. Man.
So good to your point that, you know what? I can cry over the fantasy loss, but the coin flipped the other way. The oblong-shaped football bounced a different way and allowed me to win a championship. So I should be happy. There's a lot of people. Again, I have the Matthew Berry book. That's one of the books behind me. I have the Matthew Berry book of so many people that have fantasy leagues that never won their league. 30 years, 40 years. I've won it at least twice, and hopefully we're doing this for a long time for the rest of my life. So, I'm very lucky.
League historian Jamie says Manchild all the way. So he says my 3 for 3. He calls me
Michael Jordan.
And then he follows that up and says you're LeBron. So you're LeBron.
Which right. LeBron's been to a bunch of finals but hasn't won them all. That's okay. Hey, being Jordan or LeBron is pretty good. So appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
It's not bad.
And Austin would have won apparently in that league. So there you go.
For that, Jamie. Nice. I'd rather be Jordan. Yeah. For sure.
That's it.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Good memories of the fantasy league. All right. So we'll have to fill that hole. We do have one hole, and that's in the leagues that we started on our radio. We have the Champs, the Chumps, the Triple C, and the Quad Cities.
Correct.
And then, as I've mentioned, we're going to launch a new league this year, folks, that you can be a part of by becoming a Hall of Fame member. You can become automatically installed into our league. We are going to do an MC Show Digital Fantasy League. It'll be our 5th league. I can't take any more than this. Yeah. All right. It'll be our 5th league.
Yes.
Jamie, the FedEx guy, is already in. He's a Hall of Fame member. My son is working his way up there.
Zay Engineer, he's in. Yes.
All right. Looks like he might be in this one if he hangs around as a Hall of Fame member. And myself and Boy Green. So we've got 4 teams. We're going to fill it till we get 12 teams. So if you're
no more than 12, that's a maximum.
One of the first 10 Hall of Fame members. We now have 2 Hall of Fame members. If you take one of those other 8 spots, you will get into this fantasy league. I have been working in recent weeks to procure the trophy, and I will show off that trophy in the coming weeks as we approach the late spring, early summer. I will have it. I will get it here, Boy Green, and you will see what you will be winning.
I can't wait.
Enter our league and get involved.
Have a chance.
So support the channel any way you can. If you can't be a Hall of Fame member, you can be a 12th Manchild member. You can also be a diehard member as well, which is smack dab in the middle. Any way you support the channel. And don't forget, this month and every month, you get raffle tickets. And again, our prizes, the 2 Jim Boeheim life-sized posters, color vinyl posters, and the 12th MC laser engraved pint glass. Put some beer in that and watch it shine, baby. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm sending you one of those, plus the 2 posters. That is this month's giveaway. We will, again, raffle those items off on the 22nd of the month. And the next live show, whenever the 22nd is, I didn't take a look yet. The next live show after that, that's when we will reveal the winner. So we always do our raffles from the 22nd to the 22nd. We draw on the 22nd.
So Monday, 25th. 22nd is a Friday, so 25th will be the next time that we're live. Yeah.
So we'll draw that Friday, but we will let you know right after Memorial Day. Wow. Okay. Let you know right after Memorial Day. We'll officially be in the world summer. Are we summertime at that point? Is it summer officially? No.
Yeah, the equinox and solstice and all that stuff.
No, the solstice is not till the start of summer, which is in June 20th.
Oh, okay.
20th or 21st. So not the solstice yet. We're working our way up towards the solstice.
We'll get there.
It's the longest day of the year. All right. So raffle tickets again. Super chats every $3 is a raffle ticket. Or if you do €2, we found out today. Thank you for that, Boy Green. So if you are in the Euro world, €2 will get you $3, which will get you a raffle ticket. You already see that 1977 T-Man is on the board with a raffle ticket right there. You're seeing there. 3rd place currently in our raffle. All right. Again, membership. If you're not already a member, you become 12th Manchild membership. You get 2 automatic raffle tickets. You do a diehard membership, you get 10. You do a Hall of Fame member, you get 20. You get right to the top of the leaderboard. And you can gift memberships as well. Each membership you gift is worth 2 raffle tickets. If you gift 5 or more, you'll get 20 for every 5 that you gift. So think about that. You're doubling down. All right, if you gift 5 or more. And then, of course, those go to people who are very active on our channel. And we always reveal those members when memberships are gifted. So whatever you can afford to do is really appreciated. You help support the channel that way. And it's wonderful to be giving away some cool items. As they say, I'm emptying out my closet of some of the memorabilia and some of the things that we've had for years that were part of our radio studio over the years. So, I have no place to put them here in my home studio. My wife's not going to love a Jim Boeheim poster on the bedroom wall here, as I've built a little studio in the bedroom. So I got to go a different direction. Let someone else enjoy them. So if you want to enjoy those posters, this would be the month to get in on the raffle, particularly if you're a Syracuse basketball fan or a college basketball fan. Those are unique items. Those are like one of one. I've never seen Jim Boeheim posters like that. They were bought many, many years ago by the radio station, used for some promotional events, and then I acquired them and ended up keeping them all these years. So very, very cool item. And you can have it on your wall, your man cave wall, by just getting into our raffle this month. All right, Boy Green, final thoughts if you have any as we wrap up here a Monday Live.
Yeah. If I had the Hulk walking away sad song with the soft piano and the violins, I'd be playing it. Scottish bagpipes, perhaps, for the Celtics. Depressing, dejecting. To get eliminated in the first round. Were you even in the playoffs if you get eliminated in the first round? I feel like I was just
right?
I know there's literally a play-in tournament now that we do the whole play-in thing, but like it feels very, especially the Celtics. This is, I think, only the second time in a decade they've gone out in the first round. So like it doesn't happen very often for Celtics. We're elitist pigs. So yeah, this is disgusting. Some people wouldn't watch the rest of the playoffs, but I'll watch it for you, Lurch. Knicks. I hope they go and win the whole thing. I am a massive New York fan, so that's fun. And man, now we got other things to focus on.
I'll quote the great Johnny Most, your former play-by-play guy, who was probably the most famous.
Is it Johnny or Donnie?
It's Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny Most is the right. I don't know. I always got that wrong, right? This time I get it right in your question. You don't do that to me.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Johnny Most. Donnie Most was the guy that was on Happy Days. All right. Right, he played Potsy or
something
Ralph.
like that. Yeah,
He's either Potsy or Ralph. Anyway, so it's Johnny Most, the legendary Celtic announcer, kind of the most famous of all the play-by-play guys ever to call Celtic games. He called all those championships with Red Auerbach over all those years. And Johnny Most once said,
Ralph. Ralph and Happy
Ralph
Days.
Mouth
Yeah.
was
Yes.
Johnny Most, right? Okay.
Yes.
So Johnny Most, the
Yeah.
famous play-by-play broadcaster for the Celtics, he once said, "It's a disgusting, despicable display."
Yeah, typical disgusting
like-
play. Yeah, I don't think we have that on our board, unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't
but-
anymore. We did have it on our radio board for years. But yeah, that's pretty much describes what the Celtics did here. Was a disgusting, despicable display. I mean, they did not they did not take care of business. They could not close out the series in the first round. So they are history.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, if you went back to the beginning of the season, knowing what happened with Tatum, I don't know that you're expecting the Celtics to make a run here, to make a championship run without one of their star players.
That is funny about expectations, though, right?
Yes,
Like,
totally
so
changed.
before the season, everyone said, I don't think the Celtics are going to make the playoffs. And I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
might not even
You
make the
don't even
playoffs.
think they're going to make the playoffs? Is what people were saying. So we get into the season. Joe Mazzulla's cooking. This is no Tatum, obviously, at the time. And they're cooking. They're a top 3 team in the East, like basically all year. You're like, wow, okay. Then out of nowhere, Tatum's journey comes back. He jumps on. So it went from people thought we weren't going to make the playoffs. Then in the middle of the year without Tatum, we're like, yeah, this team's pretty good. Most people said, they won't win a championship, but wow, this team's very feisty. Credit to Mazzulla. Then Tatum came back in and he looked awesome immediately. They're like, whoa, this could be like the greatest story in basketball. And then you lose in the first round. So it's a crazy roller coaster of emotions of nothing, something, nothing, something, nothing, something. And here we go. So yeah, it is crazy how everything played out.
One quick thing on Mazzulla. Let me ask you that. And I think this is actually legit to bring this up. And I am never the POM guy. I am not the prisoner of the moment guy. I hate prisoner of the moment tactics and hot takes because they're not real. They're just not real. It's just like when the Knicks got down 2-1 to the Hawks and people, oh, this is it. Oh my God. I was like, no, they're not. Relax. That's why it's a 7-game series. Relax, put your feet up, enjoy the ride here, pal. We're going to get back in the series. We're going to beat them. We're a better team. And we did. Okay. I hate that prisoner of the moment mentality, but I don't think this is being prisoner of the moment. Joe Mazzulla, is his job and should his job be on the line? The Celtics have gone out 2 years in a row this way. They have become, and this year's playoffs is clearly a screenshot of this. All right. They have become, in a lot of ways, this one-dimensional team that if they're hitting threes, great, life is great. And when they're not, they don't have an alternate strategy. And in this game, it proved, again, that this strategy, if you want to call it a strategy that Mazzulla has employed, of just heaving up threes, proved to be their demise in this game 7, for sure. I mean, they were just chucking them up there at the end of the game. It was awful, and they were missing them. And we saw it in one of the other games of the series where they got beat badly on their own home floor, just chucking up threes and not having any other alternatives. Can this guy coach? Come on, man. You ought to take a serious look at your coach. You're already nodding no. This guy is not coaching winning basketball. 2 years in a row. It's the great Celtics, Boy Green. And you could make the argument, and I'll make it right now. I know Mazzulla had some success after Ime left, but didn't Ime really build this thing in a lot of ways? Wasn't it him and Stevens architecting this team, putting it in place, a defensive mentality from Ime, and everything he did, then that horrible incident situation happens with him, with his, off the court antics, and essentially he's hosed out, but they have Mazzulla in the fold. He's this young guy, unproven, Is it enough? I mean, I think his job should be on the line. They should be talking about his job today in Boston. What do you think?
Yeah. So a couple of things here. Mazzulla was the one that won the championship. So, and that's an 82 game season playoffs.
And so did Barry Switzer win a championship.
I knew you were going to say that.
I knew I'm going to bring it up.
I knew you were going to say that. Like
that was Jimmy Johnson's team. Barry Switzer didn't win a championship. Jimmy
Johnson.
Johnson.
What about Mike Tomlin? Was that his team or Bill Cowher's team? So we can
argue it. I don't care.
We could do this dance forever. I would just say this. First off, I'll channel a quote that Peyton Pritchard gave after the Celtics lost Game 7. They said, "Oh boy, chucking up a bunch of threes, huh? You guys didn't have an answer. What's the build there?" And he says, "I don't remember you guys saying this when we had a 3-1 lead doing that strategy. Okay, we missed threes, we lost, and that's what I would say. He got them to a 3-1 place." Mazzulla was in the running for coach of the year earlier this season for what he was doing without Tatum and concocting a lineup and figuring it out. And Keita, who came out of nowhere and just became a contributor. So I think Mazzulla is a super smart coach. He won a championship last year. And I'm talking about the Knicks thing, injuries, the Tatum collapsing like totally tanked their chances in the middle as they were trying to figure this out. So no. So I know last year they get eliminated. This year they go out in the first round, which is embarrassing. This is not acceptable in Boston land. It may be acceptable in other places. It's not acceptable in Boston land to do this. No. To me, his job should not be in jeopardy. Now, if we go a third year, like whatever the results of this upcoming season, and something crazy happens where they're eliminated in the first round or something again like that, okay, now we can talk about people's jobs like being in question and scrutiny and those kind of things. But no, I'm not there yet. If they do it, I would be surprised. Anything can happen. It's basketball. But no, I think he's a super smart guy. He's a unique individual. If anyone's ever seen a Joe Mazzulla press conference, they are something akin to something I've never seen before. So it's very unique and different, but no, I would not call for his job. He did a marvelous job for 99% of the season, coaching up a non-Tatum team, seamlessly incorporating him into the team, and then they blew it on the threes. The threes are what won them a championship. So I'm not going to turn around and talk out of one side of my mouth, say, this, and on the other side go, geez, what are you doing? That's part of the beast of what the Celtics team is. When they make a lot of threes, they can beat anybody. When they miss a lot of threes, they can lose to anybody.
Yeah. There may be some people that would compare, the 3-point shooting thing to what happened in Golden State under Kerr, but I would offer this as a rebuttal to that. Okay. Kerr's teams can do a lot of other things besides just shoot threes. Now, sure. Do they have a penchant for doing that? And do they do that? They also happen to have the greatest shooter in the history of the NBA.
That helps.
That kind of matters. Helps. And the guy that was alongside him for many of the years could arguably be up there in the top 5 all-time shooters. I'm talking about
Klay Thompson, Splash Brother.
So, I mean,
and
when
Draymond.
you have that kind of shooting prowess on your team, it makes a lot of sense to go that direction. With the Celtics, does it make as much sense? And has Mazzulla been pliable enough, adjustable enough? I mean, look, the Knicks fired their coach last year, and he took them as far as they've gone in a long time, to the Eastern Conference Finals, okay?
Sure.
Took them that far, and they said, he's still not championship pedigree. We got to go somewhere. Now, I understand Mazzulla's got the ring, but again, I'll make the argument, was it really Mazzulla's ring? Or was it really Ime Udoka's ring? And Mazzulla kind of, won it off his back, so to speak. And since then, what have you done for me lately? Losing in first rounds is what you've done for me lately. Okay, that's what you do. You lose in early rounds, all right? Was it second round last year?
Second round last year,
Second round last year. All right, you lose in early in the playoffs when people have predicted you to be the favorite or among the favorites. So just not great performance, and just didn't see great adjustments from. I hope you keep them, because I hate the Celtics and I want the Knicks to keep beating them.
Yeah.
I'm really, really down that we're not going to get to beat them in this round, because that's what I was looking forward to. But I'll just move that hatred over to the Sixers. Because from a
which should be easy to hate. The whole New York Philly thing is totally real. And there was a couple years ago in that playoff series, there was a lot of nastiness. So I don't think you're going to find any trouble finding the hate. No. The Sith Lord saying embrace the hate. That shouldn't be that hard. That should be a convinced job here. It's not like the 76ers are some likable team. Everyone hates the Sixers and their fans.
I don't like Embiid. I don't like Maxey. There's plenty of hatred to go around on that roster. That's going to be good one way or the other, but I'm a little down that we didn't get the Celtics. I wanted to see that matchup.
I'm down. I wanted it.
It's always fun for me and you to go back and forth on it too, so we won't get to do that. So we're both Knicks guys. Good for you, man.
Yeah, there you go. I go New York. Go New York. Go.
No longer on the dark side.
Knicks forever.
Thank you for coming to the good side.
Better late than never. There you go.
Okay, so as they say, we'll put a nice, neat bow on this one, folks. Thanks for everybody for contributing today. Appreciate any of the super chats. And again, you can get on our raffle tickets all month long. We will draw on the 22nd, so we'll have plenty of live shows. In the meantime, we'll be back live again on Wednesday. Don't forget, we're doing that Survivor show every week, Wednesday nights, right after each Survivor episode. So if you love the TV show Survivor, you can join us live on Wednesday nights. And again, we will continue with all the usual suspects. We'll take you inside the Bills, inside the Jets, inside the New York teams this week, as we always do. Bud Poliquin will be our next effort. We will talk to Bud tonight, and that interview will get out to members tonight. And for those that are non-members, that Bud Poliquin interview will be available during the day tomorrow. So we're busy beavers. As always, content is king, and we'll continue delivering it to you day in and day out. Again, if you're not already a subscriber, click that subscribe on the way out of the room. Also, hit the thumbs up, if you're already a subscriber. And if you're interested in membership, well, now you know how to do it. Go do it. Become part of our growing family and help support the channel. All right, folks, that'll do it for us here on a Monday. Everybody have a great May. We will see you live in a couple of days. Take care. Peace out.